And we're live! Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Critical Critique. We are going to be pissing off the rightoids today, so that's going to be fun. We pissed off the leftoids before, and now we're going to piss off the rightoids. It's got to be a true, enlightened fair. We got to be fair. We got to be fair and balanced. We're gonna be true, enlightened centrists, even though I don't, fucking centrists. We're like magnets. We cancel it out. We cancel it all out. We got Samuel in the chat. I just noticed, so that's good. Yes, the critique is real. We are here on a different day today because of I believe we've mentioned before. There's a bunch of scheduling stuff going on this week, especially for me. So that's gonna be fun. But hopefully we'll be. It's all my fault. But hopefully we'll be back to a regular-ish schedule in the next few weeks, depending on how things go. It's gonna all kind of depend on different factors. Yes, no one is immune to the critical critiquing. We are equal opportunists. So, today we have decided to talk about a very popular individual in the rightoid spheres by the name of the Matt Walsh. The Matt Walsh. Now, Ellie doesn't know anything about the Matt Walsh. Oh. He is the man who created the What is a Woman movie. And he so he is very well known within the rightoid circles. And I'll be real, I've seen some clips of his stuff. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Some of it's pretty based, right? Sometimes, and this is a common problem with rightoids, right? This is a very, very common problem where I will agree with a lot of what they have to say on certain issues, right? And then they just fuck it up. They'll go after anime. They'll go after sexy shit. They'll go after, they'll decide, hey, let's just be dumb and trad about stuff, So it's always really difficult, but to find people that it's like, yeah, I agree, I can agree with them and not have to preface it by saying, yeah, no, I don't. I agree with him, but he's a bit tismy, he's a bit on the tism side, right? And that's kind of how I feel about Matt Walsh, especially since it tends to happen when they get big, right? Because when Matt Walsh was a little bit, less well known, he was doing the going on Dr. Phil and doing the fucking, I think he did like a children's book or something, and then he did the movie, right? He was a lot better, right? He was a lot better. He wasn't as crazy, and he was actually making some good arguments and some good points against the transgenderism stuff. But then he decided, I'm just going to join the Daily Wire, and I'm gonna go full on trad. And I think the thing for me was he went on Joe Rogan once, and he was like, "Yeah, no, we got to get rid of the gay marriage." And Joe Rogan was like, "Wait, what?" It was like, "Wait, what?" So he's that kind of trad. So this is going to be a very interesting cast. Ellie tends to avoid the Twitter dramas, and he's not as terminally online as I am. So. How does anime involves the politics? Well, we'll see. We're gonna find out. I mean, you probably should have made it getting satanic instead of political, because that's a bit more accurate. I mean, look, guys. I will touch up the titles later, when I do the timestamps. I'll go in and touch up. I do that sometimes. I go in and I kind of punch up the titles a little bit to make them a bit more snappy. Ellie is a dweeb. That's the title. But yeah, no. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so Sam is talking about like, yeah. So anime. A common misconception that a lot of people have, and this can be kind of like our last little preamble before we get into watching the video, is that anime is not political or whatever, right? Or there's no politics in my animes, right? And I feel like it's annoying because I am one of the people that doesn't like everything is political. I think it's a snooty term used by snooty people who need to stop being snooty, right? Because yeah, everything can be political if you fucking twist it enough. But in terms of anime, there are plenty of anime that have messages or try to convey certain themes or ideas. And a lot of the time those might be political in some sense, right? So it's not really unlike any other media from any other country, right? I mean, yeah, the big crash, yeah. Yeah. So I think a lot of people. My new phrase for this is getting lost in the sauce. Right? You get. Oh no, that's not good. Your Fumo is.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've just been sitting here talking to myself the whole goddamn time.
Now you should be able to hear me.
Everyone's gonna think I'm a schizo.
Or were you not?
I'm gonna title the timestamp up until this point Nretsew schizo or something.
I don't know Matt Walsh. I see the OBS line go up right now.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know Matt Walsh. See the money of the soul and possibility control. Is what was made in the aftermath of the economic crisis of 2008. It's about how financial systems steal your future.
Right. Yeah, and the overall point was basically just like anime can have politics in it and can have political themes and messages. And I feel a lot of people get lost in the source because they wanna have these online arguments where they don't want to concede, to the people that are snooty and go, "Oh, everything is political" or whatever. Because I wouldn't want to concede. I wouldn't want to concede to those people either because they're fucking annoying. But I think at some point you do have to just kind of be like, "Look, it's no different than any other kind of media, right? It's no different than media from America or whatever that has messages in it. It's just sometimes." I would argue the Japanese do a much better job at integrating political messages into the narrative and not just kind of being like, oh, look, it's strong female character, 5,689.
Yeah, I would say that's something
I wonder what message this is trying to send, right? Like,
I mean, I think that something like Dimension W is very overt in its anti-nuclear messaging. But also, there's a degree of separation. We don't know exactly what politics is going on.
Yeah, Jake makes a good point. Like Parasite is a good example. I watched Parasite. I've got some of the manga too. Yeah, that's got an environmentalist message in it, but it's not. I think the difference is a lot of the time the Japanese will be a lot more subtle with it rather than trying to beat you over the head with it. But anyway, so yeah, let's. Now that I've stopped schizo talking to myself, we can get into the video itself. And we can talk about the Matt Walsh. I'm watching the fancy transition happen on the screen.
I've set the YouTube to low latency this time.
Oh,
I don't know if it helps.
We'll see. Yeah, it seems to be a little bit better. So anime is satanic, and that's my emotional fact, which is an interesting way to title the video.
Yeah, a little into the background, the behind the scenes. Nretsew thinks it might be a parody of the left emotional truth somewhat, or personal truth.
Yeah, I believe that he's playing into the idea that I've seen crop up on left-wing circles of lived experience. It's
But
lived
my
experience
thing is,
and things like
Nretsew,
that.
if he does think that anime is satanic, then that's still true to him. However parody he makes it, it's
Yeah,
it is.
You can't hide behind the irony, right?
No, no.
I'm just pointing out that based on everything I know of the man from my own watching some of his stuff, right? I get the feeling that he's trying to pull I'm going to use your own terminology against you or whatever. Right?
And look how silly it is, even though I completely agree and fall into the definition of what I'm saying.
Exactly. So anyway, let's get right into it.
Yesterday on the show, I briefly mentioned a controversy that had at the time only recently started simmering. It was a controversy surrounding comments made by the humble host of this very podcast. And if you've been paying attention at all, you know that when my comments spark controversy, it's always because I have broached a very important subject and raised an issue of urgent national importance, such as, of course, the backlash over my advocacy for the rights of translucent mermaids. The topic this time around isn't quite that serious, but almost. So, as I detailed yesterday, during an all-access...
As a first-time ever viewer, first time I'm ever hearing his voice, he sure likes the in-group comedy, because I'm completely lost.
I don't even know if I can translate a lot of this for you. I mean, like he is doing a bit of the
I get some of the
translucent mermaids or whatever. He's talking about his stuff against trans people. Is what he's talking about.
Is translucent a code word then?
Maybe I don't. Hey, I don't fucking watch him enough for that. I've only seen like a few clips of him. I mentioned at the start of the show when I was talking to myself. I've seen some clips of him. I've seen Adam and Sitch, who I watch quite a lot. They have covered some of his stuff before. I've seen him on Dr. Phil, and I've seen a few clips of him on Joe Rogan when he was talking about gay marriage being satanic. So I have a fairly good idea, but I don't watch him enough to know whether or not that's like him trying to dog whistle or whatever. But because I am in tune with a little bit of the rightoids, right? I'm gonna make the educated assumption that he's making a joke about the fact that he is against the trans. He's not a fan of the trans.
What a coward. Oh, he is a coward. Sneaky code word. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Plausible deniability.
I hate how I'm gonna have to be the one to defend Matt Walsh. I don't want to defend Matt Walsh, but I'm gonna have to. Because listen, Ellie, we got a big good faith Gary, right? To use a Sitch and Adam, we're gonna steal some more Sitch and Adam terminology.
Oh, you're the only one who watches him.
I'm the only one that watches it, but we're gonna be good faith Gary here, right? And the good faith Gary interpretation is that it's just a fucking joke, right? He's not trying to be a sneaky code word thing. Oh yeah, Jake's probably right. Yeah, the Mermaids charity in Britain that was not very good. I don't know if we want to go into that deep lore on the Mermaids charity.
Nah, I don't have to.
It is.
We're here for the anime. We're not being political here.
We're not here necessarily for me to spew out a bunch of deep lore about that kind of stuff. But
the rat trial and the rat.
Just know that I recognize it. I know about it. But no. Like the good faith Gary interpretation is that he's just kind of making a joke based on his past works, and he's not necessarily trying to be all haha, sneaky code for haha. I mean, if he keeps doing it, maybe. If he keeps doing it, it's possible. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's trying to give you a leash to pull. Cooking too much for the Walsh. Yeah. Nah. Well, like I said, I don't.
Oh,
You
damn!
know,
I should.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and play the good cop here. I'm gonna try and be good faith, right?
Nretsew, look at our fugis. I have to just draw a line and a circle around your neck to my hand.
Oh
and...
no! Oh no! Don't give him ideas, guys. Don't give him ideas. But anyway, let's let Matt Walsh continue. Because he's laying the groundwork, right? He's explaining that he's like me trying to explain Twitter drama to Ellie, right? he's trying to explain what he did to get people mad, right?
Live chat this past Friday. I was asked to give my opinion on the subject of anime. And I spent about 35 seconds on the subject in which I stated that from my vantage point, anime is satanic. Now, I acknowledge that I have no argument to support that view.
Oh.
I have no, perhaps, reason or justification for it. It is rather, as the kids say, a vibe.
No facts and logic found here.
No facts and logic, just vibes. He's got a vibe.
Great start.
Oh god, no! I'm laughing more because like this very like you have big Christian trad man. He's got his nice suit. He's got his glasses and his trimmed beard.
Some
his coffee
award,
mug,
whatever in the back. I don't know.
and his stuff. And he's like, I'm doing what the kids would call a vibe. The vibe. I'm doing the vibe. Just the it's like when you have like some, I don't know, some random ass boomer or whatever who has absolutely no idea about like internet culture. Who's like, I'm gonna do what the kids call a dank meme. You know,
Yeah.
he's trying to be hip with the kids.
I don't know.
How do you do, fellow kids?
He's already kind of, downplaying. I only spent like 45 seconds on it, and this is only a 10-minute video.
I only called anime satanic. It's not like it's not like I mean, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I just called anime the satanic.
Gay marriage satanic, anime satanic.
Yeah, it's just the same thing, right?
Not a big deal.
It's not a big deal, It's not a big deal. Yeah, who even would ask Matt Walsh's opinion on anime? Yeah, exactly, because it's like what his opinion on anime is going to be. Like, come on, like it's like what do you expect, right? what were you people expecting? But anyhow, let's continue.
Anime has a satanic vibe. That's all. Have I ever seen?
Anime has a satanic vibe, Ellie. God. No, okay, hang on. I gotta recover. I gotta calm down. All right. Deep breaths. All right, let's go.
Anime? Do I even know exactly what anime is? These questions aren't relevant. All that matters is that, as I said in response to a live question someone asked, anime is the work of the devil. That's my truth that I live in every day. Now, there are some who might assume that this comment was simply a half-assed, off-the-cuff joke about cartoons, and that's all. Now, there are some who might observe that I've also argued for cyclists to be imprisoned. I've said that...
Okay. I'm like 50-50 on whether or not this is a fucking meme or not. I'm having a hard time.
There's still like 8 minutes or whatever. So
yeah. I don't know because he's playing it a bit too hard, right? He's playing it really hard.
Nah,
I'm kind of like I don't know.
I'm feeling it's not a big deal. I'll joke about it, but here's why it's very serious.
Yeah. Well, you're picking up on the vibes.
I'm vibing. I'm vibing with him. With his vibes.
We're vibing. Yeah, Devilman's got that satanic vibe. High School DxD's got that satanic vibe.
Well, damn, what are other anime with demons? Frieren, but she kills demons, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, well, Frieren's interesting because that's like the alt-rights are that's their baby right now, Elliot. You probably wouldn't know about that because there's people that have been. So this is going to be a little sidetrack, but so because the demons in Frieren are objectively evil, right? There's no like you can't like be like, oh no, they're just like humans and that whatever. The right side of the spectrum has been like based. The demons are actually evil based. They're a redeemable bait, and that's been pissing off the leftoids a little bit. But and I recall I followed someone on Twitter who was it was probably Elves, because I think Elves has talked about this, where it's like when the manga was coming out, there was like when the demon stuff was happening in the manga, there were people that were like, no, how can't you have to have nuance and the demons are just like, but it's like, no, the demons are just animals that can talk. Like, what are you?
You don't have.
They're not actually human.
I said it in a free run bit when we were still after episode 4 or episode 6, I think that I am interested in the society of demons because they can form a society amongst themselves. So I wonder how that would look.
There is something. I think there is probably going to be more to it, but just as it's presented right now, it's interesting. I mean, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not the same way that other demons, like, because you'll either have the demons are just monsters that are not sentient at all, or you'll have demons are basically just humans with horns, right? Like you typically have it like both. Yeah, you basically have it like both ways, but Frieren is kind of like this really interesting like middle area. So it's like smack in the middle of that, which was what makes it interesting. But anyway, so yeah, Samu says I'll do my best not to go full Christian annoyance mode, but I think this vibe he means is that there isn't a cross or a Bible every 5 seconds. To the anime, so he's a little confused, Ellie. He's a little confused.
And I think Jake is more right because he's just making a bunch of cyclists bad.
Yeah.
This bad, just to prep. No, I'm one of you guys, or
Oh yeah, I'm hip with the kids. I hate the cyclists too. The cyclists driving on the roads and they get in your way, and then they
Oh no.
All right, let's get
people who leave their shopping carts in the parking lot are morally equivalent to serial killers and shit.
You see, we're reaching a top of absurdity, and then we're going down into deep seriousness.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's try and get through it.
To be executed on the spot. I've called for legislation outlawing small talk in elevators and the use of emojis by males over the age of 18. I even spent 3 months on this show attacking my own employer over his refusal to give me a giant stuffed walrus. So you might assume that my theories about anime's satanic origins should be taken in the same spirit as all those other sorts of comments. And you're right, because I'm totally serious about all of it. It's good then that social media took it with the seriousness that it was intended. I was one of the top trending subjects on Twitter nationwide yesterday, again.
Who cares?
This time due to my...
Everything trends on stupid Twitter.
You gotta get on the Twitters more, Alex. It's where all the good stuff's happening. You gotta get on there. You gotta be on there more. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out.
So somebody trends for a second, and then of course it doesn't matter.
So I can kind of agree with Look, my tweets popping up. That's me. I unironically do that these days. It's funny. Because every time my tweets pop off, it's always like the ones that I never expect are going to pop off, and then they pop off. But anyway, as I was about to say, I do get that feeling that Jake and you were talking about, where it's like, he's kind of like playing it up and trying to like hide the fact that he's serious by trying to use irony as a shield, right? But the thing with that is it is really hard to sometimes pass that out. Right? because it could really swing either way, right? He could be being super serial for real and actually does think the animes is satanic, right? Because he's, whatever. But then you could also take the other interpretation of, no, he's just fucking around. He's just memeing. He's talking about, executing people that don't return the fucking trolley or whatever, or the fact that he couldn't get a walrus in his office, right? So it's like, I feel like, because again, I'm trying to be good faith here, right? I'm trying to take a more charitable interpretation, not necessarily because I agree with him, but because I want to try and be fair, right? I want to try and be fair here, right? I feel like it could go either way right now, and I think that it's leaning towards him just kind of mocking the fact that his dumb anime take that he probably didn't think a lot about is going to fucking, is gonna be, it's gonna become trending on Twitter, and it's gonna be this massive deal, even though it's like just a minor fucking blip.
Yeah, 5-second Twitter trend nationwide is so easy. It's such a non-thing to.
He's warming up to into his in group to swallow what he's about to say wholesale. Yes, yeah, that is true. Yeah, we'll see. Like that, we're still.
Oh damn! Sam has a childhood trauma.
Nah, fuck good faith. Fuck good faith. No, fuck. Yeah, miss out on enjoying Pokemon. Yeah, fair enough, Samu. Fair enough. Like, let's see.
Controversial anime. A great many accounts with anime avatars expressed their hurt and anger over my opinion, leading me to believe that maybe I was wrong about anime causing demonic possession. Maybe it actually just causes you to become an extremely whiny dork. That's another theory. Meanwhile, the news media jumped into action. My randomly muttered hot take about anime made it into the headlines of several major news outlets. Yahoo News reports, Daily Wire troll Matt Walsh denounces anime as satanic.
Yeah, their news thing is still pretty big.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah, the search engine and everything else kind of failed, but I hear that their news thing is still kind of a thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
One good.
It's all big, downplaying and his self-grandizing in this point. I don't like it.
It's all big irony. And I'm not a fan of it either, because he's clearly not taking it seriously, at least from my view. Like, he's not taking any of this seriously at all, which I can understand, right, from his perspective. But
he very much cares about what other people say about it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he's trying to be like, it's not a big deal or whatever. But then it's like, but Yahoo News fucking talked about, you know what I mean? Like he's hyping him. He's hyping him. Yeah, weaponized absurdity is a good way to put it, Jake. Weaponized absurdity is definitely a good word for it. He's trying to play up the absurd nature of it to mask what he really thinks about it. But that's why it's hard to sometimes pass out. Like, where does the joke stop in the actual opinion begin, right? Where's the line?
We're not fans of that.
And we're not fans of that either. I would much prefer people to just be fucking straight, like, because if he actually thought anime was satanic, right? I would want to know what his actual argument is for that. Is he going to actually reference the Bible, right? Is he going to go, well, and anime something Jacob numbers whatever something.
Well, he can't possibly just spend 10 minutes making fun of or telling people how much he doesn't care. That's stupid on its own.
Yeah. And anyway, so Schrodinger's douchebag, I believe, is the correct term. Anyway, that's
panic, though he doesn't know why. Denounces. I denounced it. Mediaite says, Matt Walsh declares anime satanic, but admits he's not sure why. The Independent says, Matt Walsh says he thinks all anime is satanic and adults shouldn't be watching cartoons. Newsweek takes a slightly different angle. They say, Daily Wire host who called anime satanic blasted by real Satanists. Oh, well, if real...
Okay. So again, he's just kind of, he's gassing himself up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, all all these news outlets are talking about me. Oh my dick's so big. Which I'm gonna have a little bit of, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or whatever, right? But I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a criticism on the left side of things, right? But also the news side of things, right? Is it really news that Matt Walsh thinks anime is satanic? Did that really need to take up like a news story on a website, right?
You know, I
and my criticism is that by giving him that news story, you're actually empowering him to keep being the douchebag, right?
There's
And
different things, right? Because you got incentives for clicks from a sites, which is, you know, independent of your political leaning.
Controversial evil right-wing man
well,
said
silly things get you clicks, right? And but I don't think that this story of silly man says silly thing really takes up a story, because, you know, this is less than 5 minutes of work, and you just copy it from another site or something.
I'm talking more about from like a meta-political perspective, right? Because I see the left does this a lot, where they create their own demons, right?
Yeah, but you know, I still
where you'll have someone let me finish, right? Because you'll have someone like Matt Walsh, who he's clearly fucking loving this right now, right? He's loving this, and the reason he's loving this is because he can play it up and use it to boost his own profile, right? And the only reason he's able to do that is because people have reacted to it in the way that they have reacted to it, right? And I think that, and it's not necessarily just the left wing that does this. I know rightoids do this too, but I feel like it's more common in left wing circles. And the example I've always used when I talk about this on Twitter is Jordan Peterson. I always use, because Jordan Peterson to me is the perfect example of this. Because Jordan Peterson, what did he actually do, right? He came out and he said, hey, I don't like this bill, C-16, compelled speech or whatever. And whether or not his criticisms of that bill were valid or not, the reaction to him just saying that he didn't like that bill was disproportionate to his opinion, which then in turn caused him to get protested. He got shouted down. He got fired. He got suspended. You know, he went through all of that, and then you follow the through line of this, right? Of him constantly being attacked by the left, constantly being attacked by people calling him all manner of things, trying to get him, you know, turning him into a literal demon, right? And then what ends up happening is he gets pushed into the arms of the Daily Wire and these trad right-wing fellas, and he ends up going off the fucking deep end later on, when he never used to be as crazy as he used to be. He used to just be like an ordinary fucking psychologist guy who would have some pretty basic bitch life advice, right? And he would just, and that's, you know, like, if people had have reacted to his opinion about Bill C-16 in a reasonable and measured way, he would never have gotten to the level of popularity that he has now. And he would have never have become this, like, big name that everyone knows about. He would have been a flash in the pan. Oh, he's that one psychiatrist or whatever that didn't agree with some random bill or whatever.
I don't even...
And so the point I'm going on with this, right, is that I feel like a lot of the time when people react to people like Matt Walsh or Dave Ben Shapiro or whatever, it on some level you do have to like counter what they're saying, and you have to, you know, you do have to criticize the points that they're making, which is what, you know, we're doing this right now. We're watching Matt Walsh and we're criticizing them, right? But I think that when the left has this tendency to overreact, and that just ends up giving these people more power than they deserve, right?
I do think there is the left media, the mainstream left media, I guess, isn't alone, because Jordan Peterson doesn't become a demon just because the left wrote a few articles about how he was silly. Everybody,
it wasn't it wasn't the them writing articles about it. In my view, it was the people online and offline, like the people protesting him and treating him like he's a danger to society.
So the thing is,
and people online on Twitter, maybe not just on Twitter, but like people just in general on the left persuasion of things, acting like he's the devil. Like when you act like he's the devil long enough, he becomes the devil.
Yeah. So what I want to say is that the left and the right, of course, all write articles on people who says a odd, strange, silly, or poignant thing all the time, right? But but that doesn't make them celebrities, even if a famous guy said something strange, right? It only really becomes a thing when it becomes a wedge issue. So if CNN, I guess, is there a more left wing CNN? Because CNN is
I don't remember what the
whatever.
I think it whatever. I think almost every American media except Fox News is left.
I think
we would have to have an American and correct.
All right, so
we'll just use CNN for the point of using.
So all right, so the Communist News Network says the Communist News Network, the news network, says Jordan Peterson is bad. Then Fox immediately says no, he's actually good. Ta-da! We got a wedge issue. Then people on both sides get angry at each other and keep writing articles into high heavens, into the infinity.
Right.
If the Communist News Network never wrote an article and Fox never responded in that sense, then nothing happens. If Fox wrote an article and the Communist News Network never if Fox wrote an article, Communist News Network didn't, it will go nowhere as well. I only really see this stuff getting bigger, Jordan Peterson or whoever, when it becomes a back and forth.
Yeah, but my point is that back and forth only really happens when like the instigation of the fight typically tends to be the left wing overreacting. That's what I perceive. Because I don't necessarily see right, like I can't recall a Jordan Peterson being formed. Like, I mean, unless you count like, I don't know, someone like Hassan or Vosh, but I think they got popular more of their own. I mean, to their credit, they got popular more of their own doing rather than because of
that climate activist, right?
Rather than because of that. Because Jordan Peterson is such a unique case, and that's why I use him as an example, because he was literally just a nobody, right? Who,
I would say that
he might have been. Well, let me speak, Elliot. All right, just give me.
You talk so much, though.
Well, no, because I got to respond to what you're saying, right? Because I feel like the Jordan Peterson example is a good example because he was a guy who was pretty much just like, he might have been well known as a psychiatrist or whatever, but he wasn't a public household name, right? He was just a guy. He wasn't a guy online doing like Twitch streams or whatever. He wasn't a guy doing things. He was just a random dude. And what ended up happening was, he said a thing. He had an opinion about a thing. It got picked up in the media cycle, like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see videos of people like almost borderline physically assaulting the man, right? And playing loud noises and trying to shut him down and trying to stop him to speaking and whatever. And even if you're not like a rightoid, right? A lot of people are going to look at that and they're going to go, well, what the fuck? Why are they trying to, shut him down so hard, right? Like maybe he's got a point, and then that progresses into where, you go from point A to point B. So that's where I'm kind of coming at is I think the left creates its own demons specifically because they overreact to such an extreme extent to the mere idea of someone disagreeing with them. And that causes the creation of Jordan Peterson's, basically.
Well,
right?
then let me say that Greta, climate activist girl, right? Woman, I guess, she's an adult now. She's a demon of the right, right? Because
to some extent, yeah.
Yeah, so you got the Greta, but also some bigger name, that's George Soros guy. He's not even super rich or super influential, but he gets name dropped every single time everywhere. Bill Gates is also a boogeyman, and Fauci after the vaccine, because you got then the right, the right media writing an article about how the super sneaky, sinister things of George Soros, but then his money spending is way lower than any oil baron, right-wing oil baron in America by a factor of 10. But George Soros is the bad guy, not the oil barons that spend way more money on lobbying.
I can agree. Like, I mean, again, I don't think that it's an exclusively a left-wing thing, right? Obviously, the right does this too. I just see it way more from the left, and I see it more. And my point is, because the names that you listed are already, like, everyone already knows who Bill Gates is. Everyone already knows who Fauci was.
Yeah,
after
but
after he came out with because he was the guy that was the face of the vaccine stuff, right? So he was already propelled into the news cycles anyway. I'm more specifically talking about on a micro level, the idea that you have people that start out as pretty much being normal, right? And they have one thing that they do, right? Or perhaps maybe even if you talk about it on a YouTube sense, right? Where you'll have YouTubers that are, they'll have a YouTube channel and they'll do political content or whatever, right? And then the left will catch on to them doing political content, and the reaction to that will be immediate. Oh, this evil, like, 5-view whatever rightoid needs to be censored or whatever. And then
I would compare
and then that causes the creation of yet another demon for the left to go after, when all they had to do was just ignore them.
So I would say that the counterpoints the counterparts to Peterson is that Greta, I don't remember the last name, climate activist, right?
I don't know necessarily enough about Greta's history to know whether or not it's a similar pipeline.
Well, she did some climate activism, and she got a news article, and then it became the right says, "Oh, look how evil," or
I know a lot more about Peterson's history than I do Greta's history, so I can't counter realistically. I mean, all I know about Greta is that she was propped up as a climate activist when she was quite young, possibly because her parents were also climate activists. And so she was propped up already, and again, that's what I mean. Like, it's not comparable to me because I don't view it as the same kind of. I don't view it as the same kind of like reaction type thing.
Let me. I'm going to say something, and maybe we'll end it there. Unless you have something short. It's short to say, right?
Keep going. Yeah, because we've been rambling for a bit.
Yeah, it's going into our own small world. No, Peterson is an academic, big, assumedly big figure guy with some influence. Greta is not influencer herself, but she did some fancy climate actions, right?
I would argue that Peterson had absolutely zero influence outside of like.
Well, he has a doctorate title.
Yeah, but he wasn't like but I'm talking about like public figure here. He wasn't a public figure. Right? No one knew who the fuck Jordan Peterson was until the stuff happened.
Well, doctorate title or something, and just like doing press activism, not practicism,
I don't.
Media.
But okay.
Hey,
I have to butt in, Ali. I have to butt in because I don't think it's because when I'm because I don't think you understand what I'm talking about, right? When I'm saying, oh, it's public figure, right? There's a difference between Petterson is a highly cited psychologist in his field. Yeah, he might be famous in his field, right? And he's famous in the field of psychology, but he's not famous in the field of being thrusted into the global limelight.
Yeah,
right?
but
And that's what I mean when I say no one knew who Petterson was until he got attacked, right? Because yeah, if you were a psychologist or whatever, you'd know who Petterson is. Or if you were in the academic field, you would know who Petterson is.
Yeah, but Greta, I see Greta.
But random dude on the internet posting shit posts on Twitter isn't gonna know who Jordan Peterson is, right?
Yeah, but I really think that in that sense, the Greta is the same, because if Greta wasn't popular, it would be just, girl does climate action by sailing instead of flying.
It very well might be the same. I'm not. Again, I don't know enough about her history to.
But
then
I'm
just disagreeing with this idea that like, Petterson was like this well-known public figure or whatever. And it's like, no, he wasn't.
No, they were both known in smaller circles. No,
Samu, fuck you. Ellen was the leash, not me.
No, they
anyway,
were both.
I do want to address some of the chats in the chat.
Yeah, sure. I'll say something.
I want to get out of this loop that we're currently stuck in.
Yes, I'm going to finish the thing, and then you can have your brief counter something, and then we'll move on. So, Petterson was known, kind of famous in a circle. Greta was known as the doing media attention for climate change. They both then got hated on the other side. It became slowly a demon to epic proportions. Greta is the face of the globalist agenda that wants to exterminate all mankind on the earth, and Petterson is a toxic influence that will ruin an entire generation.
Right.
And that because because articles get written on other articles and people on people and media on media.
Right. So I want to address, right. So Petterson had a fat backlog of his videos exposing his lectures and broader work, and that was taken into the reporting about talking about pipelines and stuff. The pipeline conversation convo concludes that YouTube articles which Petterson later was later added to and conflated. Yeah. So I do recall that there were past YouTube talks from Petterson before, but the question I would really want to know, like, how popular were those videos, and how big of a name was he pre him getting C16 debate. I would actually be interested to know that, because he didn't pop onto my map until that happened. That's the thing, and that's why maybe my perspective is just skewed because of that. But like I said, when I'm talking about like public figure, I'm talking about does everyone know what their name is at this point? And it's like, if I say Jordan Peterson, everyone's going to know who Jordan Peterson is, right?
So, everybody knows.
But they didn't. Yeah, they do now, but they didn't back then. That's what I'm talking about. Peterson. Yeah, he's a highly cited psychologist. So that much is true. Yeah. Petterson wasn't popular in the forum, except for his contra fame. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't gotten to anime yet. We'll hopefully get there. I mean, you're watching us, so it's gonna be a fucking us rambling for 5 hours about bullshit. They popped off after the fact when Jake's that's my point, right? It's like, I think I don't know how I feel about the comparison. I'm not gonna rehash the whole argument. We're gonna move on to after this, but I don't know, because I would have to do more research into Greta, because I feel like it's not necessarily a apt comparison to what I'm talking about. But whatever. Let's
move on.
Let's keep going. Let's let Matt Walsh gas himself up some more. Let's let the man buff his ego.
Satanists are angry about it, then I guess I'm more right than I ever realized. So I can now, with more confidence than ever, say that I stand by my comments, obviously. Well,
All right.
more respect in your life than
I didn't know that was my little thing that skips sponsorships just kicked in. Did that? I didn't know that actually fucking. I didn't know that fucking worked in Watch Together. Awesome. Good to know, because I have a browser extension that automatically skips sponsorship shit. So yeah. Thanks for that.
All right.
We don't have to listen.
It's weird books. We don't have to his mug or whatever.
Yeah, we don't have to. Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
established titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Lord or Lady. And
no, it didn't skip it, because I thought it did skip it because it came up on the corner of the video, and I was like, oh, did it just skip his thing? But no, it's no.
This is a scam, by the way. Becoming a lord.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. I don't know if you can mute the video, but we could just.
I'll mute it for the stream. I lost my voice. I did a cough, and now my voice is.
Oh no! You need to get a drink. I'm probably gonna have to get a drink too as well. But actually, yeah. Give me 1 sec. I will get a drink, and then I will come back.
Terrible midstream, and I sound terrible. Worse. Oh, I have a stream. I have a thing for this moment. Oh, I just muted. Yeah. Wait. Cancel discard. Discard. No, they can't hear you. It's the reverse of the beginning. Oh. 1 second.
I see the transition happening. Here we go.
Yeah, now you're on.
All right, good. We're back. I have my drink. I have some lime Coke, which is actually quite nice. I quite like the lime Coke. It's quite good. So now I'm going to talk about how established titles is a scam.
Or this version of it.
Well, so established titles, right, was the service thing where basically they were selling like these little tiny, like 1 centimeter squared plots of like Irish land or something.
Yeah,
and it was
Scottish.
Yes, it was some loophole law thing where if you own a certain amount of land in there, you get to claim to be a lord or something, right? And so they would sell you these titles. It was basically like a novelty gift where it's like, oh, you can have this piece of paper that says, hey, you're a lord of Scotland or whatever, or some shit. And it turns out that it was just all bullshit by some like fucking Taiwanese fucking company or some shit. But here's the thing, right? If you actually thought that little bit of paper made you like a lord of Scotland or whatever, I'm sorry. you kind of brought it on yourself. You know? You kind of...
You know, it sells... Well, people believe in crypto, right?
Yeah, people believe in crypto.
And that also works by legal loopholes and technicalities and all that stuff.
Well, crypto's a little bit more complicated, and it's a little bit different.
It all boils down.
Let a man dream.
No, crush the dreams. Maltz, crush his skull.
But yeah, so what happened was, so the scam got found out, and a whole bunch of YouTubers got flack for it. Now, look, I think I actually recall we might have talked about this like on a cast.
I don't remember though.
Right? It was a
Maybe.
long time ago. I remember talking about this on something, right? Where it's kind of like, I don't blame YouTubers for taking the sponsorship deal, right? Because, look, I can respect a guy who doesn't take a sponsorship because of principles and they don't want to, sell a bad product to people, and they don't, I can respect that, right? I have respect for that. However, I also can have respect for the guy who's like, look, I gotta pay the fucking bills, right? I gotta shill the Raid Shadow Legends because I gotta pay the bills. Now, I wouldn't shill Raid Shadow Legends outside of a meme, right? But I can understand. Look, you're a budding new YouTuber on the scene, or you're just starting to make it big. You got a few thousand views or whatever, and money. It's like Samu said, money is indeed money. So I'm not going to blame a YouTuber when established lords or whatever comes to you and is like, "Hey, we'll give you like $2,000 if you shill our scam bullshit or whatever," right? Because money's money. Now, Matt Walsh, on the other hand, is not a fucking small time YouTuber person doing the having to make his income via the fucking the shit, because I'm pretty certain like he works with the Daily Wire, and the Daily Wire is its own fucking site that has its own monetary stuff through ads and has its own fucking bullshit. I don't know if he has like a Patreon, or probably not, but I don't know if he has like a membership club, like I know Stephen Crowder has like his book club. So I don't. When it starts to become a problem for me is when it's when it starts to become a problem for me is when it's like this would be like Fox News or something, showing established titles, like it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different when it's like Count Dankula, right? He'll have advertisements for stuff like Raycon and there was some loot box thing he was shilling in a video, and when it's someone like that who's like an independent kind of YouTuber type person, I'm a little bit more lenient, I guess, with this kind of stuff, right? As long as you make the advertisement entertaining, expect Internet Historian, he has like the whole Nordman thing where he like makes the advertisement. Yeah, he has like lore and stuff in his ads, and or like Seth, Sasich or Seth, or however you pronounce it, and he makes them like really entertaining and stuff. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. But I do feel like it's very, very funny to see Matt Walsh of all people, shilling fucking the fucking titles.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
online. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll let you speak. But online political content creators and ethical practices tend to mix like oil and water. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally. You can trust me, bro. I am totally just like you, bro. Now let me sell you this scam.
Yeah.
Also, very much like crypto. Now I'll tell you how money works. You can trust me how to do money here. So here's a crypto thing you should buy.
Buy my fucking Bored Ape Monkey Yacht Club NFT or whatever, and go blind in the fucking UV light. Shit. Okay, yeah, we're getting a bit. I'm gonna say, have you got the video muted so we don't have to listen to Matt Walsh fucking.
I'll mute it for the people at home.
Yeah, I have it muted on my end, so I can't hear him.
Oh, I'll hear it because.
Yeah, you have to suffer. You have to suffer. Never forget Ali is suffering for you guys. Oh, is he still going?
Yeah, still going.
Okay, you since you're listening, you tell me when he's done talking about it, and we'll
yeah.
So I'm just gonna rattle on about yeah.
Oh, he has a title.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got one. Look, he has the piece of paper. Look, look at that. So the thing with online political content creators and ethical practices. Yeah, it's always a funny thing because I think the funniest ones are when it's lefties and commies doing it, because you'll have like yeah, we have to tear down the capitalist system, these capitalist pigs, and then it's be like, oh, by the way, if you use my Amazon gift code for 5%
Or 10% off.
for 10% off Amazon, I'm gonna get, it's. I think that's the funniest ones for me, is when it's a communist. Oh man. I wonder if that links.
All right, it's over.
Oh, all right. It's over. All right, let me get my volume back up so I can hear him again. There we go. All right, let's go.
Is satanic, and it leads to demonic possession in upwards of 87% of cases. Studies show.
Studies show, do they, man? Studies show.
Yeah, in his study in his mind, he thought of it. It came to him in a dream.
What's the source? I made it the fuck up. I've made it the fuck up.
Report suggests that listen to this. Listen to this. Half of all Pokemon fans will become mass murderers.
I'm getting a little bit tired.
Wow. Did you know half of people that play Pokemon are mass murderers? Wow.
Well,
I didn't know that, Ali.
Considering how many Pokemon you kill.
I guess.
The other half will also become mass murderers.
Yeah, he's doing that weaponized absurdity thing again. He's just being absurd. He's being
annoying. That's what he is.
Yeah, pretty much.
If any of my critics had ever studied history, they would know that Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, Caligula, all were anime fans, or would have been if it existed.
We don't have to pause.
And this statistic is the most shocking of all. I want you to listen closely to this. Nearly 100% of all violent criminals in the country have seen Dragon Ball Z or have heard of it.
I'm getting really tired here.
Oh man, I'm having a great time. What are you talking about? I'm having a great time because I just think it's funny. I'm laughing my ass off. I think it's great.
We're being better political commentators.
Listen. I understand. I'm bored from the perspective of there's nothing to really cover here. It's just him being absurd, right? But it doesn't stop me from laughing at the absurdity of it. It's fucking oh no. Yeah, we should tell him about Bin Laden's high try. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, now, let's be a little bit conspiratorial. We only have America to trust on that, right?
Oh no.
Only America says, trust us, bro. Bin Laden was totally into this weird stuff. We don't have an agenda.
How do you know Bin Laden's not online right now?
Yeah.
You didn't see the body.
Although it's very likely his body was dumped somewhere in the ocean.
Adolf Hitler would have vibed with Hieromongus insane.
I think they would have picked other anime and manga.
Okay. To be serious, right? Hitler maybe, because Hitler was an artist, right? Hitler was an artist, so he might have been able to get the artistic merits of Hieromongus Sensei, right? Let's talk about this for reals right now. I think he might have been able to understand. And you've seen those photos of Hitler dressed up as a samurai. All right, he had the katana and the kimono on.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
He was. Oh yeah, no, you should look that up and put that up on stream. We fucking funny.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look up a photo of Hitler in kimono or whatever. You'll probably find it because he did some trips to Japan and he got in the whole get up apparently.
Well, as a diplomat, you kind of have to sometimes.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's a funny image in hindsight. Hitler would have loved Helsing. Yeah.
Helsing would. I assume Helsing would be cool for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd love that shit. he'd
One
be
second,
completely
I have
on
to
board.
do some
Oh, have you found
finagling. Yeah, I found it.
Oh, you found it.
Let me
You
get
put it
into the right stream, into the right thing. Here we go, Hitler.
Oh, I'm waiting. Yeah, there he is.
I'll make it big for a second. Here.
Yeah, make it big for a sec. Just to... it took us 70 minutes. Was all it took for Nretsew to start saying, "Hey, you know Hitler was kind of pissed." I mean, look at him though. How could that man? Look, how could that man be evil? Look at him. He's adorable. Okay, I gotta do the necessary. Listen, it's all memes. Okay, I'm being a memester. I'm joking. Obviously, Hitler is evil, right? Come on, let's be. But just look at the. How can you look at this image and not have a smile on your face? Like, come on, come on, look at him. He's fucking. He kind of looks like he's hating every single moment.
Yeah, but that's Hitler in general, all right. He never.
He's
really...
like these fucking Japanese. And then, look. Oh God. Oh yeah.
I was. Yeah, I'm watching the stream, so I see everything you're doing. I see what you're doing. Okay, all right. Let's recover. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. All right. Let's get back to it.
Know someone who or heard of it. The numbers speak for themselves. Though, in fairness, there is perhaps no reason to single out Japanese animation in this way. Sure, it's especially weird and unsettling, but it's from Japan, after all, so what do you expect? Really, though, every cartoon is satanic. That's the only clarification all that I'll offer here. Every
I'm getting more disappointed.
Look at
How much is left?
About a third. We're just over half.
Oh.
So that's why I've been saying we'll just let him. Let's just let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him cook.
Sorcery.
I guess.
The whole town of Adventure Bay cowers.
Hey, you're the one who wanted to do this, not me.
Yeah, I thought it would have something.
Even the mayor, who's really a figurehead, obeys their
I thought he was
whim.
a somewhat serious guy.
There are no checks and balances in this system. The Paw Patrol are given free reign to be judge, jury, and potentially executioners. Now, when you consider that Scripture often uses wolves to symbolize the forces of evil, you begin to see in the Paw Patrol a sort of perverse satanic fable. And this is still one of the tamer shows. What about Coco Melon? A bizarre, deranged, plotless, hypnotic spectacle which places toddlers into an insensible, trance-like state where they mutter incantations, summoning dark forces that they don't understand. These are yet more cartoon-related opinions that I am seriously stating, and which I hope will be taken as seriously as I mean them.
Yeah, super serial. Super serial right now,
of course,
Ellie.
Hypothetically, as a thought experiment, if you were to pretend for a moment that with my infamous anime commentary, I was actually just making a random spur-of-the-moment joke about a subject that I really don't care about at all, and that Media Matters is creating a controversy over something that I forgot I even said 45 seconds after I said it, then in this alternate universe, one might make the following observation. It is sad that we live in a culture where you can't speak off the cuff or offer an opinion even ironically or in jest or only half seriously without it being clipped and isolated and turned without your consent into your diehard mantra or fundamental belief system.
So, on one hand, I actually agree with him on this.
Yeah, but he made this...
Because how many people are going to clip out, or would clip out, me laughing at Japanese Hitler here? It'd be like, Nretsew totally thinks that Hitler was the cool samurai, you know. So I get what he's saying, and that's the vibe that I've actually gotten this whole time. Is like, it's honestly he's being absurd because he just finds the entire scenario absurd, and so he's just hamming it up.
I misjudged.
You know? You made a critical error, Ellie. You thought this was going to be an actual fucking video. I mean, I didn't know either. I hadn't watched this before. Because I ignored like most of this controversy. I knew about it. I'd seen it, but I didn't really engage with it. So it's like, you know, it's like, God. Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean, 5-0. Like, I don't think he actually, like, I think it's like he said, right? To play Good Faith Gary again, he made an off-the-cuff comment about anime or whatever, and then people fucking went ballistic over it, and that's just caused him to be able to play it off as he is in this video, you know? And that's why I keep telling people, look, sometimes you just gotta fucking calm down, you know? You just gotta take a step back. You gotta be like, look, not everything has to be like a massive fucking deal all the time. You know, you just gotta go chill out.
No, I hoped he had an actual opinion, but it's a big I don't care, but I actually really do though.
Well, no, he doesn't actually care about anime. What he cares about is being able to use the situation to his advantage. That's what he actually cares about, right? Because I know what he's doing, right? I know what he's doing. He's recognized, you know, hey, people are going ballistic about this. He's that Simpsons meme of, you know, driving past a trash fire and be like, how can this benefit me, right? Like, that's what he's doing right now, is he's playing it up, he's hamming it up, he's, you know, being absurd, he's doing all this stuff because he knows that's what's going to get people to, you know, go ballistic about it, because he's Matt Walsh, the big anti-trans, trad, calf, big gay people bad man, right? How can we get the own, right? We have to get the own Ellie. We have to own him, right? But he, you know, and he's cognitive of that, right? So
yeah,
that's my opinion.
My thing though is, right, that people taking him seriously is something that he wants.
I mean, yeah, obviously he wants people to take him seriously, but
but when people take him seriously, but sometimes when people take him seriously, he makes fun of people taking him seriously, and he thrives within this half space of, but no, I was serious, no, I'm actually not.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I think, you know, he's not wrong when it's like, you know, you should be able to just do shit and jest sometimes and not have to fucking worry about a fucking, like,
yeah, but he's a famous guy. That, unfortunately, you kind of lose that right unless you specifically create an image that has you make jokes.
I don't know.
Because neither of us knew what he was doing, right, until like halfway through the video. So
well, no, but I mean, I had an idea. I had a feeling this is where I was just gonna go.
I was waiting.
I had
for
more
the
prior. I had more prior knowledge about him than you do. So I had a feeling this was how this was going to go. But I was expecting some seriousness, though. I was expecting him to be like, okay, jokes aside, let's actually talk about it, right? But, you know, obviously he's not. So, you know, that's just kind of what it is. So Sammy was like, channels like Rev is funny, but half of the time it's just him not able to read between the lines and think everyone wants to put lolicons in the wood chipper. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, channels like Rev, while I can appreciate some of the work that he does do, I feel like they kind of you don't have to react to every 14-year-old on Twitter, right? Just yeah. This actually kind of goes into what I was saying before with Jordan Peters. I know I don't want to loop back into that, but it's relevant. Trust me, please, guys, don't leave. If you wanted an example of people doing that on the opposite end of the spectrum, I would say people like specifically, you know, people that are into lolly or people that are into, you know, hentai and whatnot, going ballistic over the slightest hint of some 14-year-old on Twitter having an opinion. Now, you could get into an argument about the bots and the code, but I'm not going to get into that because that's just boring as shit, right? But I'm just saying, sometimes it's better to just let things die in obscurity than to go ballistic. And that's hard coming from me because I've been there, right? I've been there I have those moments sometimes, right? Where you see something and you have that guttural reaction and you just have to fucking respond to it, right? But I've come to learn with age and with experience that sometimes it's just not worth it. It's not fucking worth it, right? And I get that from channels like Revs a lot, where they'll cover literally everything that, you know,
Every
is
minor
related
slight.
to every minor slight, right? And it is important, but it just gets repetitive when you're making like 10-minute videos about tweets that people could just go read themselves, right?
Yeah, I don't like hero.
What do you really like? What do you really have to add to the situation that hasn't already been said, right?
I don't like hero hate for that.
Yeah, this is Matt Walsh, Magician of D. To be honest, given what I know about his reputation, not getting the tweet was a joke doesn't seem that unreasonable to me. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair enough. Circles back to that issue with reporting tweets again, doesn't it? Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Yeah. People are having a good discussion in the chat. It's good. But anyway, we got like a thirdly. Let's get this finished.
I like discussions in chat. We're not going to be DSP and demand we only talk to me and about me or.
Yeah. We're having a good time. So let's get this video finished and then maybe we'll shoot the shit for a bit.
Yeah.
I had people yesterday demanding to know why I've chosen to die on this hill. Why am I ranting about anime? Why do I care so much about what other people choose to watch? Well, am I dying on a hill by making a flippant, hyperbolic remark on a subject that someone else asked me about?
Hey, you pause real quick.
Is literally everything you say.
Because he totally cares what people watch and play and do, right? He hates the...
he does give a fuck about his perception, yeah. He totally does.
If there's a gay... I mean, I have to assume that if there is a gay relationship in whatever movie or series or comic or whatever, it's a complete outrage and killing off traditional whatever and values and all that stuff.
I think he wouldn't like it, but yeah.
So
maybe.
he can't pull this "I don't care what you watch" thing when he totally does care.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. He does.
Say a hill you're dying on? Are you seriously pretending that you never exaggerate or engage in hyperbole or say something outrageous for comedic effect? Are you pretending that you've never articulated an edgy or weird opinion, maybe seriously, maybe as a joke, maybe as some mixture of the two? Are you pretending that you don't understand these methods of human communication that are utterly commonplace and a feature of nearly every conversation you've ever had in your life? Yes, you are pretending that. You are pretending so that you can score whatever point you think you're scoring here. And
Jake makes a really good point that I want to address. So yeah, take note that he's cashing in. He's appealing to common sense. So while he's technically in the right, he exerts by being on the higher ground of the in-group, right? So that's actually quite correct. So I just wanted to point that out because that is actually a really good comment on it, because that's the thing I mentioned before, right? Like, I don't disagree with what he's saying here, because he is technically in the right, and people overreact to things that are just like hyperbole and whatnot. But at the same time, if you don't actually address the points, right? You don't actually kind of be like, here's what I actually believe. Right?
Yeah, but because I assume that he is a Christian, right? I assume.
Yes, he is.
So
he's very religious man. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he says the trans are an affront to God when it shows a clip of a movie again, or but then the next day he says anime is satanic, and anime has been satanic, called satanic by Christians before. It really seems like it's a thing that he would believe. I don't think it would be unreasonable for people to assume that was serious, and that's on him that people take it serious, because that's
the thing. That's why, like, the way I would address this, I'd be like, look, guys, I was memeing, but here's what I actually think, right?
Yes.
Whereas he's not doing that. He's not, like, in this whole video, he hasn't actually explained what he actually thinks. He's just gone, here's a shitload of hyperbolic bullshit, right? And now I'm just gonna mock you for reacting to my hyperbolic bullshit.
But I actually kind of agree.
But I'm not gonna. Well, that's the thing. We don't know if he actually agrees or not.
Yeah.
Because he's hiding behind that hyperbolic bullshit, right? Yeah, it's spinning rhetoric through meta commentary, and there's no points. Yeah, he's speaking bullshitese. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So let's continue.
The effect over time is that authentic conversation is stifled, and people feel as though they have to constantly speak like they're reading from a press release written by a corporate PR firm. The color and flavor of human conversation, the stuff that makes it fun and interesting, just kind of fades away.
Yeah, that's
These
when
are
you're
all
famous,
things that you
though.
might
I'm not
say
going to
if you
say...
believe that I was not being totally serious when I did.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to cough as well. No, I said before, he's famous, right? That unfortunately means...
relatively, yeah. Relatively.
That means that you are giving less human rights. You can be...
Celebrities have no human rights.
Yes.
Ellie. Quote, clip it.
I stand by that point. No, you got...
Celebrities... Okay, all right. I'll let you continue. Let you justify yourself. All right.
What justification? It's just common sense. Because they can't speak freely anymore. They can't make just off-the-cuff jokes. That is how it is. When you're famous, when you're influential, you lose the ability, the right to just be funny. Unless
I really don't agree. But let me kind of say I half agree, half don't, right? Because I think on one hand, as if you are popular, you do somewhat have a little bit more responsibility to think about what you want to, what you're saying and whether or not it has, repercussions or whatever. But on the other hand, I don't think I would go so far as to say that they don't have human rights.
Now less human rights, just a few less.
No, even that I don't know about that, right? I don't, because I'm a big freedom man. I'm a big anti-censorship man. I think people should be able to say whatever the fuck they want, right? I'm pretty much on that train, So I hear that and I'm kind of like, it doesn't drive with me. It doesn't drive with me very well that celebrities shouldn't be allowed to say things in jest and pull a funny or whatever. Like, I have less of an issue with Matt Walsh pulling a funny, right? And more of an issue with the fact that he's pulled a funny and he's not extrapolating on what his actual point is, right? Because if he pulled a funny and then he was like, haha, yeah, I was just joking. It's like what I said to you like 5 seconds ago. It's like, if he was like, hey, haha, I'm pulling a funny, but here's what I actually think about the subject. Here's my actual take, right? If he gives an actual take, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But the reason I have a problem with it is that he's not giving an actual take. He's just beating around the bush, right?
Yeah, which so off topic, what from human rights and celebrity not having, they're not deserving them, is that I kind of, because he just doesn't want to say what he actually believes, it just makes me feel that he kind of feels that anime is a great moral threat. That's the sense that I get.
And he's hiding his power level, basically.
Yeah. But besides that, right? No, there are plenty of examples that, a small channel of only 209 subscribers and only gets about 200 views per episode makes a video on the big guy Matt Walsh, and then the next day gets linked in the Twitter of Nretsew the perv and in between frame, and then a massive tidal wave of people come to the Twitter channels in between frame and
they see Samurai Hitler fucking spinning around.
And then of course then would we get the hate, and then we get the big harassment and all that stuff, and then Matt Walsh can say, no, harassment is bad, but we are still being harassed and will never cover Matt Walsh again. So it's an imbalance in power, and because Matt Walsh was making a joke about us in this case, he will still never cover Matt Walsh again, and maybe close down the channel or Twitter or whatever.
I mean, we probably wouldn't do that, but
but an example, right? We'll get a harassment. He'll have the joke, and he'll never get touched again by us, or never really suffer the reputation loss. He'll just be able to sit in the high ivory white tower and say, "Harassment is bad, guys," and then forget about it forever. And that's the danger of being off the cuff as a famous and big influential person.
Yeah, well, when we talk, and I think Jake makes some good points in the chat. The gradient between public and private figure is very blurred on the internet. But I think drawing the line of Matt Walsh works for the Daily Wire. He's not independent. He works for the establishment, depending on what your definition of establishment is, right? So I do agree that you can hold him to a different standard, right? I just don't necessarily disagree in general, right, with this idea that, people should be able to, do some funny memes from time to time. But the caveat to that is you do, at some point, have to kind of put the serious hat on, and you do, we do this all the time. I'll do some fun memes, you'll do some fun memes.
I'll put Hitler on the stream and then say no.
We'll put Hitler on the stream, and then we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun memes, but then we'll put the serious hat on when we need to put the serious hat on and actually explain what our positions are, right? And that's kind of the thing. And he's being ambiguous by virtue of the private person, but he's not in the position of the private person. He is a public figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't necessarily say it's less human rights. I think it's more a matter of responsibility and different standards between public and private figures, right?
Yeah, which is what
you mean. I know that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's you could buy it that Matt Walsh's post irony, pretty much. But anyway, we're almost done. We got like a minute left. So.
Declared all animation made in Japan satanic. But again, I was serious. I'm serious about everything. If I was joking, I would laugh. Deadpan humor has never been my thing, as you well know. And that is why, in the end, with all that said, anime is still canceled and cast back down into the fiery hell flames from whence it came. That'll do it for this portion of the show as we move over.
Hi.
There we go. So, that was just basically irony of the video.
Yeah. I made a mistake.
I didn't really... Yeah, you made a big computing error there. You didn't...
I'm usually better than this. I usually pick out some gems.
You usually are. Yeah. Maybe you should have pre-watched this one this time.
You said you were going to pre-watch it.
I didn't fucking... Look, I've been busy all week. I haven't fucking pre-watched shit.
But I was asleep. I was that tired from work. What did you do?
Oh, shut up. Shut up, you.
Fight on stream.
No,
Fight.
Okay, serious hat though. Serious hat.
Yeah.
I while I can agree with some of his points and I can see what he's trying to do here, I feel like the problem is he's playing to his crowd, right? He's playing to his crowd because his audience knows he's being ironic. They know that he's being deadpan in his humor. That's what they like about him, right? So he's basically just preaching to his choir, right? He's not actually, because he's, he hasn't actually made any real point in this video outside of, like, the only point that you could get from this video is that people need to stop taking things so seriously because sometimes it's just an offhand comment that's not a super serious comment. And while I can agree with that point, it's not really, a point about anime and whether or not it's satanic or not. So, yeah, we both did a big oopsie. Let's all laugh at Hitler. Yeah, let's all laugh at Weeaboo Hitler. Weeb Hitler.
Yeah. Here we go.
So,
Make Hitler a little bit bigger over the face of Matt Walsh. You don't see the difference anyway.
So what is? I guess you probably don't have anything else.
No,
to say,
I did.
Really.
I was sneakily looking at our maybe to cover videos list.
Oh yeah.
Also, chat. This is the perfect time. We don't have anything planned. Now's your time to massively influence the vote of the what we're going to do for the next half an hour. Hour and a half.
I mean, yeah, we might because we might as well stick around for a full fucking while. I mean, we could shoot the shit for. I haven't watched any anime lately because I've been too busy and because I've got a trip coming up. So I wanted to stock up on anime to watch while I was on the trip. Magician of D says, I feel like there is a tactic online of saying a bunch of intentionally stupid statements to create the illusion of having intelligent thoughts on a topic without actually saying that. Yeah, that actually sums up the whole fucking video, pretty much. Samuel apparently put 2 vids in the community chats.
Yeah, let me quickly go to my posts, my channel.
You could probably transition away from Matt Walsh too. You probably don't need.
Yeah, I'll do
have him
the.
up.
I'll just do the boring screen for a second. My channel.
What are we playing, listening, and reading? Well, like I said, I haven't been really doing anything because I've been busy all week, and I had like an 11k walk yesterday, so I haven't been doing a whole lot. And yeah, so I haven't really been playing, listening, or reading anything. I did. Okay, so maybe we can do some spoilers. Shall we do some spoilers, Ali? Shall we talk about some possible channel spoilers for the future?
Yeah, go ahead.
I tweeted about it, so anyone that follows me on Twitter has already seen that I watched 2 videos about fan service that I went into thinking that they were going to be one thing, and they ended up being king shit. Absolute fucking king shit. Amazing videos by this one guy that I very much agree with and think are very, very based. However, they're about an hour and 30 minutes long, both videos together. So me and Ellie have been discussing the possibility of doing a stream at an earlier time than we usually do and going for a little bit longer than we usually do so that we can perhaps cover these videos that are quite a bit longer, right? So that's not going to happen. It's going to happen soon, TM, right? It's not going to happen right away because I'm going to have to do my trip and recover from my trip and do my stuff, right? However, I will when everything's kind of settled down a little bit, we will organize a time to perhaps do an extra large episode for everyone, which hopefully you guys will quite enjoy because it is on the topic of the fan service. We've got 2 sort of videos like that might be good, that are good videos on fan service to cover. Other than that, we've got a few things in the list, don't we?
So Samu, I see your videos. I found them finally. One of them is an hour long.
Well, I was just talking about that, wasn't I? Like we might, do some streams a little earlier, but it'll all kind of depend, right? I mean, I'm confident in doing the ones that I'm talking about. I'm not gonna. I mean, I posted them on Twitter, so that's the spoiler, right? You'd have to go to my Twitter to get the spoiler. So I'm fine with doing longer videos and doing longer streams, but I have to pre-watch those ones first specifically because I don't want to have a Matt Walsh incident like today, where it's like, imagine if this video wasn't 10 minutes and it was an hour long, Ellie. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine?
It would be a complete disaster.
It would be a complete disaster. So we will probably be pre-watching those videos beforehand to make sure, because it's okay. So it's one of the things is like I'm always debating with myself about this because I like going into things raw, right? I like the live reaction of, getting the raw emotion of this is what you feel in the moment. I feel like that's a very important thing. And you lose that when you obviously pre-watch a video because you know what's coming, right? So I prefer to not pre-watch, but if it's going to be something that we're going to have to, like either me or Ali would have to pre-watch, right? To be sure that something's going to be worth covering. If it's going to be like an hour long, because we'll have to, schedule a longer stream for that. Yeah, guys, put on nice. Put on while drawing comics and playing the long dark. Yeah, that's all good, Strake. I'm happy. You know.
Yeah. So
guess we know Nretsew's sex life now by that sentence. Man, Samu's getting sassy in the chat today. Oh boy.
Yeah, the old ones are getting entitled over here. Nah, it's all good.
It's all good.
Fine.
It's all in jest. It's all in jest.
Yeah. So, Samu, your other video, why isn't there more feminism in anime? It's a little bit on the long side. 26 minutes long. If we're going, I'll definitely save it because it's an interesting topic and there's.
We'll put it in the watch. We have a thread in our channel, Discord channel that we're using to just slap videos that we might cover in the future. So we've got a few. We've got a few in there, which is always good.
I'm very appreciative of the many sources of articles and sources in the description of the why isn't there more feminism in anime video.
Gives us something to debunk.
Yeah, like the PAX guy, right? The anti-porn guy.
Yeah.
Well,
the PAX stuff.
Give me a second because I'll just we'll not cover it very soon. So let me just do a live debunk, right? Give me 1 second as I set up thing because I'm there. Because if we're not going to do a real thing anyway, let's do a quick off-the-cuff debunk. So, very disappointingly, and therefore I'm not going to cover the video itself, I'm just going to the sources, right?
Okay.
So,
how many of those sources are hidden by a paywall, though? Well,
let's check out, right? So
let's have a look.
So this guy right here, this Sam Lewell, this book, why the anime love porn and why the millennials love anime and hentai pornography.
Right.
Then blah 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 blah, and the cosmopolitan fellow monster gravitating real human. And then we go to, hey, what's the reference over here? And these two, I guess. Let's go back. Line, yes. We love it so much. This says hentai is a lot. Hentai a lot. There's a lot of them. What do we watch? And that's it. Just says a lot. There's a lot of hentai.
Hentai exists. Pretty much.
And this also says there's a lot of Pornhub, not freedom of human reality, heightened libido, fringe fetish. Doesn't consider that's right. Movie goes to the club. This is it's not more novelty. It's also about impossible bodies. Blah blah blah. This is very light on actual sources. It does have a good professor, but it basically says very standard thing, right? Therapists are getting too jaded, and they're jaded, and they're just looking for novelty. Nretsew, I'm reading a lot of words. You have to do the comments.
I've got the comments open. Yeah, no, I was just doing something. Animes I've seen seem to pretty regularly show female characters matching or exceeding their male counterparts. This seems like a losing battle to argue. Yeah, it is. And the anime looks cuter. Yeah, isn't that an opinion piece? Yes. Yeah, that's another thing. Is a lot of these seem to be opinion pieces or. One in the video that I was talking about, the fan service one, the guy brings up an interesting study in that, which we'll probably talk about when we do that video, because we're definitely doing that video, where it talks about there was a meta-analysis of several studies trying to prove whether or not sexism in games actually exists, and the conclusion that it came to was that the majority of the studies indicate that it's mixed, and that studies that set out to find a conclusion are going to find the conclusion that they want to find, basically. So that's why you have to be kind of careful of a lot of these anti-porn studies, because they tend to be backed and funded by specific groups of interest that are looking for a conclusion to confirm their biases rather than perform actual scientific research. And so it's a big issue with the field that there's not enough actual science going on. It's all kind of biased bullshit. It's like with the Dove ad where they talk about 1 in 3 women feel like they're not represented in games, and then you dig deeper into it and you find out that that's from some study that's done by Dove's own research department that's not even made public at all, and any study that you can find is done by some firm that advertisers pay to create studies that conform to their biases.
Yeah.
And stuff,
So,
right?
we have Fight the New Drug, which is the first organization in the sources that does something, right? And it looks rather, secular. There isn't a big Christian organization behind it. But then I looked at the Wikipedia, and it actually says there's a non-profit, secular, and non-legislative. But why I say secular specifically? Yeah, I guess because most of them are Christian. But let's say having all but sexual drugs. But sex isn't. This is here. Authorized support as drug suicide. Sex isn't a. Porn isn't a drug, according to the research, and they have influenced by members of the Church of the Latter-day Saints over social issues.
Oh god!
The leaders
so that's what I
were
mean.
not.
That's what I mean. You have to be really careful about these about these sources that people that are on the anti. And so this kind of ties in, and I've linked some stuff in the pop chat for you, Ellie. I linked what I was talking about before, because
this is why I
had a feeling.
This is why I have 4 monitors, by the way. I'm using them all.
Yeah. So he can look at all of this stuff. Ellie, could you open the certificate to their home website? Jake is making he's making a request for.
That's F12, right? Or sorry, I'm not completely sure how. Certificates.
I think isn't it like clicking on the little like icon or whatever, the thing. I don't remember how to do it. Yeah, I don't remember. Jake, if you tell Ellie how to do it, he'll do it.
I'll do anything you say.
Yeah, we are the monkeys on the stream right now.
Oh wait, I'm finding it here.
Oh, here we go. Click the lock icon on the URL.
Yeah, I think I'm here. Before
Yeah. I'm gonna have to full screen that because I can't read it because it's too small. So what are you looking for? What are you looking for here, Jake? What are we looking for? Because we got
here. This one maybe. No, it doesn't. This
Cloudflare. Boltware's trust root. We'll wait for Jake to tell us what he's looking for. We'll look for it. In the meantime,
seems all
in the meantime, so there's a yes, he was checking their host. So we're there. What? Yeah, nothing special. Okay, right, that's fine. So to move on to something. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun right now. So I mentioned, I think it was it in the Street Fighter one? I can't remember. It was in one of the previous casts. I mentioned Dr. Nicole Pierce, who is a scientist on Twitter who's doing a lot of stuff to kind of debunk a lot of these anti-porn, anti-masturbation, sex-negative type things. Now, she does definitely slant a lot to the pro-feminist side of things. And I know that's going to trigger a lot of people, right? Is that your brain on porn thing? Because we could talk about that, because that's actually directly related to this.
This is hijacking the brain.
Okay, so it's probably the same kind of thing. because this relates specifically to the book called Your Brain on Porn, right? So yeah, so Nicole Pierce has put out a bunch of tweets about that recently, and it turns out that they believe in some very interesting things, apparently. So if Ellie wants to go grab,
Oh yeah, this is why. So this book for how pornography works, right, is on the is on a Christian site for a church.
Right.
No, well, I guess it was talking about sermons here, right? Here, the speeches and sermons series, Hebrew, whatever. And then if you go to the book, or if you look up the book on the Amazon, if you go to the Amazon, and you'll see here, finally free, fighting for purity with the power of grace. And if you go to if you search the guy himself, he's also interested in faith science dialogue.
Faith science dialogue, you say? Right. Well, let's get on to some funny. This is some funny moment. Trust me.
And all the reviews are by Christians here. Christian Today.
I gotta try and pull you away from this and get you onto this Nicole Pierce show, because you're gonna love it. Trust me. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love this, Ellie. So I've presented some tweets here.
Which one do you want first?
Let's just start from the beginning, right? So we've got So there's a guy called Gary Wilson who is of Your Brain on Porn, which is now Your Brain on Porn is one of the books that these kinds of people like to cite quite a lot, right? And so the tweet basically says, Gary Wilson of Your Brain on Porn claimed to be an atheist. He was leading a religion called Kerzina or something.
Yeah.
They preached you could become immortal and more highly evolved than others. They mention homosexuals repeatedly, especially bisexual men, by never experiencing an orgasm. And if you bring up the image says modern Kerzira still centers on blah 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 that avoids autism. The first step they describe to be able to
autism.
Shut up. Yeah, same thing. Orgasm. So intimacy without orgasm is that energy blocks must dissolve. It was clear that an energy block is or now, So you can read all this stuff, right? And it's fucking hilarious. It's literally, if I don't come for 30 days, I'm gonna unlock Palpatine lightning bolt powers and become immortal.
I'm seeing here the term is Italian. It was thought of in where was the year? I don't see the year anymore. And it's yin yang and Taoistic and Tantra and yoga and whatever.
So the second image in that tweet is Kerzina was intended to be a religion or spiritualism, not sexual challenge or therapy based on science. When directly asked whether Kerzira is scientific or spiritual or both in an interview, Kerzira leader answers that it is solely a spiritual belief. Kerzira leaders claim that metaphysical sources from around the globe assure us that we are created in the image of our creator. The purpose of seeking a relationship harmony with Kerzira is to serve the serve spirit unhampered and leading to immortality. Yeah.
So Jake, you're correct. Not only a wizard, you become an immortal god.
But it gets better. So
second tweet.
Another one of Nicole's tweets that was very interesting is a new paper. And this thread is very interesting. So a new paper on violence on Reddit support forums, unique to r/Nofap and at Deviant Behavior.
We
we found Nofap has followers engaged in real murders. Nofap posts are remarkably violent, and the violence is supported by the followers. And the thread goes into, multiple real mass murderers were followers of Nofap on the Reddit platform. Hashtag Nofap is part of the manosphere, which some people would probably recognize as being, Andrew Tate style content. Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, whatever podcast or whatnot, which seeks to disseminate anti-feminist beliefs online. Again, you have to keep in mind Dr. Nicole has her own bias because she comes at it from the feminist sort of perspective, right? But that she's the only one that's actually doing fucking research into this shit, which is what annoys the shit out of me. And it's raised questions on whether Nofap might be contributing to violence by their followers. Nofap claimed to start from a founder's personal experience with porn and testosterone study. It appears that from interviews with a certain person that r/Nofap actually came out of bodybuilding.com, which has hosted Nofap since 2004. Nofap is solely anti-masturbation. Since violence in Nofap has not been previously documented, we used a systemic search to categorize the nature of the threats. We also,
study parameters.
Study. Big study, big data, using Reddit as a base, right, to look at this stuff. And then they used, Reddit extractor, and they found 421 violent posts. While Nofap followers were most common targets of violent posts followed by any one general range, people in the porn industry and women were the most common, things that were getting attacked, which kind of, checks out. And then Nofap promotes false conspiracies that claimed that violent posts were the porn industry sneaking into their forums. We analyzed whether or not this was likely by examining the support. And the issue is that the people were actually supporting those posts, right? So if it was the case that, the porn industry was sending their infiltrators into their spaces, right? It would be you'd think that you'd get a lot of people saying
from outside the
glowy, get the fuck out, right? Glowy, be gone. But what was actually happening was people were supporting these posts, right?
We can go to the conclusion of this paper. It's all good.
Academics do.
You ignore everything and immediately go to the conclusion. Where's the conclusion? After discussion or before? There's some differences sometimes. Discussion. I guess this is results. Blah blah. Big guy. 400. There's more violence on there. Oh, cut his dick off. If you pop, I will kill you.
Big violence. Yeah, big violence. Yeah, this is some chakra equals real silence stuff vibes. Yeah, it is. A lot of this Nofap shit is, man. And a lot of it is absolute fucking nonsense. Yeah, post nothing.
That's not a fun community over there.
Yeah. It's pretty great, eh? It's great. So there's some lovely individuals over in the Nofap side of things. Some very It's totally about self-improvement, guys. It's totally about getting people to stop.
Well, Nretsew, would you say that it's an extremist, misogynistic group? I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree too a little bit. Based on what's being described here in the study, right? So, yeah.
There's a interesting tension that exists between expressed motive to save women in pornography. Pornography bad, we have to save the woman.
Yeah.
Kill all women that are sexy and make it bad.
Kill them all. See, I knew this would be fun to talk about.
Oh no,
it's
and they were
fucking
all
hilarious.
asking for it anyway. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, this
Those
is terrible.
those dumb pornographers getting into their pornographies, right? Those dumb pornographers. Oh man. So yeah. I found this. It was a very interesting thread and a very interesting study to kind of look into. Because it's quite telling. It is quite telling. So I have one more for you, which I posted. I posted both the image. I posted both the image and the tweet, but it was just because Twitter and Discord shows the quote tweeted images, not the thing.
3.
It's just the tweet should be sufficient.
Alright.
I guess they mistook what. Yeah, pretty much. So, this is your brain on porn. They believed that so that religion we talked about earlier, avoiding orgasm, was giving birth to Christ, a non-physical fetus. And then you can read the archived thing here. The screenshot is included, so you can see that she's not making this up, right? The ultimate goal was various Nag Hundi texts various Nag Hundi texts make clear, is an experience of wholeness that recreates the genus of our divine origins as whatever the fuck that word is.
Sexless.
Androgynous. Yeah, Philip suggests that this is the way the Christ is reborn in mankind. Similarly, the ancient Chinese Teots recorded that the practice of non-orgasmic intercourse could give birth to a non-physical holy fetus. This concept of a controlled union that gives birth to spiritual children rather than physical children is also echoed by Dr. Alice Booker Stockman and her work about the virtues of controlled intercourse, although she knew nothing about the two other sources. I believe that the Gospel of Philip and other Nagi Hindu documents are speaking about the same mystery and exploiting the creation of non-physical children, that is, giving birth to the Christ, 2 by 2. This concept is behind all, and then it cuts off.
Gnosticism. This very much feels like a Scientology, where they just took every religion ever and picked everything that they thought sounded nice.
Yeah. It's very much so when you're seeing people online talking about Nofap and talking about your brain on porn and talking about all of this fucking bullshit, this is what they fucking believe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not this specifically, but you know.
Yeah, that's the problem. So the problem is you have people that get into it because they get, they fall for memes on 4chan, or they fall for Reddit, the violent Reddit, the violent fucking Reddit where they're talking about killing all the women, right? And so people will go into it, but they don't know any of this stuff. It's like how people get into communism without actually reading Das Kapital and stuff, right? Like they don't, they get into it because it sounds good. It's like, oh, free stuff, right? And they don't actually know any of the underlying theory or whatever that's going into this stuff. And so they just think, oh, not fapping, good, because I'm trad and I'm trad man and I don't sex bad. They have a vibe and they just go with the vibe. But then when you actually look into some of this shit, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so
it's fucking insane.
So this book, right? Oh, hijacked for intimacy. The only reviewers are all Christian today. Christian. Welcome needed and welcome addition to Christian literature. So this book is Christian literature. It says right here, addressing the pandemic of porn or pornography.
Yeah, imagine being psyoped by the vibes. It's like Matt Walsh, anime's satanic because it's got a vibe.
Yeah,
imagine being psyoped by vibes.
This work relies on this place over here, Fight the New Drug, which was here the none of the leaders are know anything about health or sexuality. Talk about development of the human child, and all that stuff. And so this article relies on this organization, and the next source of this is this organization, which is cited also here so separately.
So it all it's all a interconnected web.
Yeah,
of bullshit,
it's all
right?
web, and that's the social. And this is this book where it's all Christian literature. The Worse Than Crack is a video which I assume is also from the same. Blah 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 blah. Oh, this is an article. Oh, so I was almost found. Oh no!
Yeah. Oh
National
no!
Association for Research and Therapy of Homosexuality. No! No!
Oh no 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 no! Oh no no no!
Great.
See, it all. This is what I mean. When you look into it, it all comes back around. You know. Yeah. We're not covering the PaxTube video. We're more just laughing at his sources. Oh, hey, it's Necro.
No, it was Matt Walsh himself, the special.
No, we were covering Matt Walsh, and then the Matt Walsh video was kind of shit. So now, and we got through it really quick. So now we're just laughing at silly Christian anti-porn shit.
Yeah, like the National Association
like
for Research
like Necro. Did you know that if you practice non-orgasmic intercourse, you can create spiritual children and non-physical fetuses?
Also, you become immortal.
And also, you become immortal and you unlock all of your chakras and have...
As described in the Chinese texts.
in the ancient Chinese texts and Hindu texts. It's fucking hilarious. So we haven't covered the PaxTube video, and I'm hesitant about it specifically because of all of this fucking shit, and we'd have to go through all of this and fucking talk about how bullshit it is. Because here's the thing, like, because he's working off a bad premise already. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know? And what I hate about it is it's like you can make an argument that there are definitely people that get addicted to shit, right? There are definitely people that do the whole cumin thing and go too far, right, or whatever. But that's not the majority of people at all. You know, most people that go to Las Vegas and do some gambling, right? They're not fucking gambling addicts, right? They're just it's a very similar thing in my view, right? Where I think that you could make reasonable arguments for some level of restriction, right? But at the same time, you should treating it like it's some fucking hard drug is very inaccurate,
Yeah, like this source, right? The impact of media and technology use on stress.
Oh yeah.
This is a source for why pornography is bad. Because
apparently, yeah.
Because you get stressed when you're on social media.
Yeah, you get stressed.
This is
when the man with the Goku avatar called you an F slur, you got stressed.
And that is why we need to ban hentai.
Yeah. Vincent is like, did some research into PaxTube video citation. Finding new drug was a weird connection to the Mormon church. Yeah. We just kind of touched on that a little bit. His sources are super, like, extremely biased, right? And this is the danger, right? Where people will cite sources and studies and stuff, and 9 times out of 10 they do it incorrectly, right? Which is why I really want to cover that other fan service video, because I feel like that guy does it correctly, right? He does it in a way that's not like, oh, here's a study, that means I'm right. Well, it's like, okay, but what does the study actually say? Does it, like, I have encountered so many cases where someone will like link a study and the study will say like the complete fucking opposite to the point they're trying to make, because they don't actually read what the study actually means, right? And that's kind of the problem that
I mean also, Jake, yeah, you're right. None of these studies, right? None of these really say that porn is bad in any way. They just say, "Oh, this study has nothing to do with porn," or no, "This study has nothing to do with porn." This may have something to say, but does deviant pornography follow a glutton-like progression? What is even a Goodman-like progression?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that where it's a lot of nonsense, you know. And the same can be said about, you know, feminist studies as well.
Oh, I'm going to really butcher this, but this feels like a like a boiling frog kind of deal. It's not a bad analogy, but you know, would you this, would you that, would you this, would you that, or in child, right? In your country to of your child, and if you apply this to a pornography, then would you accept X? What has that to do with? This is just attitudes towards it, right?
Yeah.
This is not addiction or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, didn't PAX go straight in the middle of the video into an argument about gateway into harder stuff and completely character assassinating Rika? Yeah.
Well, you don't need to.
I think I recall.
Oh, here it is.
Something like that. He brings up the anime man. He brings up stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff about Rika. I don't really want to talk about Rika because that's a complicated fucking scenario, and I've kind of, you know, it's a pain. It's a pain in the ass, and there are some schizos out there about that go fucking insane about it. So I'd rather not. Because it's Rika would be a bad example to use anyway. Because Rika is pretty fucking autistic.
No, this is not very nice. Sex tourism in Thailand. Oh no.
Yeah, there's questions about that stuff and whether or not it's real or not. But it's like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to talk about because it's fucking nonsense.
Oh god, craving responses to methamphetamine and sexual images individuals with methamphetamine disorder use after long term. This is about people who are addicted hardcore to drugs and see if their sexual whatever attitudes or cravings are still the same.
But you have to remember because because they're linking it directly to because they literally do believe that sex and masturbation and stuff functions exactly the same as a chemical dependency, even though it's not like a chemical dependency in the same way that a drug is a chemical dependency. It's a chemical dependency in the same way that gambling is a dependency, right? In an addiction. Gambling is probably the better allegory to use, right? Because they're both because gambling and addiction is real, right? Obviously, people do get addicted to gambling. However, it's more of a psychological thing than it is a actual hard chemical dependency. So,
also this study reject this study. If you are aroused, are you taking more risk? What a great example for addiction, my dude.
Yeah.
Nretsew, if you are aroused, you have different tolerances for risk. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's like if you fucking drink a beer, you have different tolerances for risk.
Yes.
Beyond that, even if we can prove a slippery slope of porn tastes, we'd have to prove that reflects a change on IRL behaviors. That is true, and I think that people's tastes do change, and you can go down rabbit holes, and you can't,
and you can climb back out of it sometimes.
But it's like normally when that happens, you already need to be like predisposed to it. I think I would have to look more into the science behind it. I haven't done a whole lot of research myself.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Also, all these neuro studies, all these behavioral studies are just isolated things in the end, right? And
it's a very complicated field. That's there's a lot of debate as well in neuropsychology and stuff. It's not just concrete. It's like I mentioned before, Dr. Nicole Pierce on Twitter. She's been doing a lot of work on sort of debunking a lot of this stuff and doing her own studies into it and whatnot. And it's a lot of it is. It's not like it's settled science, right? On whether or not these things have the effects that they do and whether or not it's actually as much of a problem as people make it out to be. That's why I hate the whole, porn addiction stuff on Twitter and whatnot, where people just kind of toss that out willy-nilly, because I actually think it does a disservice to people that genuinely probably do have a problem with it, and it does affect their daily lives in a way that is, unhelpful to them. But because it, yeah, it's a serious fucking thing, and it's good to talk about it though, because the more people talk about it, the more it, we can actually look at getting some real science done about it, because that's what I would want to see. I want to see some non-bias, actual scientific research in the field of specifically, sexuality and the effects of sex on the brain and whatnot that isn't coded in this giant level of bias, right? It would be very interesting to be able to have honest conversations about it, but we can't because it's such a polarizing issue, right?
Yeah, I just want to feel for this man. I assume, man, feel for this man. As a child, he saw some porn, and it didn't affect him, right?
Yeah, it didn't affect him. Yeah,
didn't affect him, but then later he got shamed. Big Christian shame.
No.
The big Christian shame.
Oh no.
And then it became a trauma.
Yeah, creating their own devils.
Yeah, creating their own traumas. Big shame, Christian shame. Oh no.
I think I heard why people get into addiction is to rationalize a method to get away from their trauma. Yeah, that can be true too. Yeah, it's complicated. There's many different angles to it that you could talk about. But yeah, so we're probably I'm still on the fence of actually covering the. I mean, we're covering it now basically without having to watch the video.
we covered a bunch of sources, right? So.
Yeah, we kind of covered the video.
Oh, this one is fun. If I'm right, this one is really fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I once. Oh, sorry, I'm spoiling all my things.
You're blowing your load too early.
No. My secret sites that I frequent.
Oh no, your in hentai tabs are open.
Yeah. Missing sleep.
Yeah, can never recover from the addiction to terrible YouTube essays. Oh no.
Leading to the one problem that arousal during internet sex might interfere with working memory.
Right. Okay. All right.
So.
Oh no.
Results revealed worse working memory performance in pornography picture condition of a fur back task compared to the remaining picture. Blah 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 blah. If you see a picture of sex, you'll have less working thoughts at the moment.
You turn into monkey brain.
Yeah, you turn into monk.
You see a hot anime girl on Twitter, and all of a sudden it's all over. You turn into a fucking Neanderthal, and you can't function.
Which means that if you see picture of porn, your brain dead, and you can't do anything anymore.
You've lost all free will.
You lost all free will. Therefore, porn must be banned.
Yeah, fuck me, man. It's so crazy. So yeah, no. So we probably won't cover the PAX video because I think we've done a good enough job.
Yeah, well, this study, right? It's a similar one, 2014.
Yeah. I think we've done a good enough. I think we've done a good enough job laughing at how fucking ridiculous a lot of this stuff is.
Oh yeah, I'm still loving this one though. Where is it? This one. This is fucking association.
Yeah. Don't know about the neuroscience, blah 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 blah. But Chris Ferguson, psychology PhD, a lot of his research counters the claim that either video game or porn addiction causes violence. Like that's been pretty settled. And that was one of the things that was going to come. Yeah, like I've mentioned before, that'll come up when we do that longer episode on those fan service videos because I do want to do that. But yeah. Yeah, Ellie's just having the time of his life fucking laughing at these studies.
Oh, it's so fun. It's not the study that I thought it was.
But it's something just as good, right?
Oh, yeah,
Because the more you dig, the more you find, right? The more you get into it.
It's funny, like, oh no, if you see a sexual image, it interferes with your decision making under ambiguity. If you have to make a difficult choice, you get distracted by sexy images. Damn. Damn.
All anti-porn arguments fall upon one principle: that being horny is a
Well, religion, Christian religion, sex is bad. That's you know, monogamy is not natural in that sense, right?
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends on certain factors. Yeah, that's like a whole nother fucking debate to have. But yeah, no, it's
I remember some. Maybe it's a completely wild thing what somebody said, but apparently the most optimal human nature thing is that the females have a harem.
That's so one man, several females.
No, reverse.
No, so you mean like one man, several females?
No, reverse. That's natural.
No, that's what I said. I said one female, a bunch of males. That's what I said.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What are you talking?
Yeah,
I was gonna. That's what I said first, and then I switched to the other one because you said I was wrong. So I was like, "What are you on about?"
I heard the same thing. Never mind.
Oh yeah, my Kiwi accent strikes again.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about the. I don't know about the specifics of that. I've seen some debates around it, and I feel like there's a reason we kind of evolved into monogamy. There's more than just the religious reasons that we evolved into kind of doing that. Most of that has to do with sexually transmitted diseases and to do with how it has to do with certain factors at the time, and we're talking about like ancient civilization, right? So this is before you would even have the concept of like Christian valued marriage or whatever. Right?
Yeah, but
there are specific reasons why, like, you could talk about it like on a logical standpoint. Yeah, having like one strong man with several strong females theoretically would produce stronger offspring, right? And it would produce more offspring because each woman theoretically could have up to 2 children because, breastfeeding. Women have 2 breasts for a reason because that's the optimal amount of children, right, is 2. But of course there are outliers and stuff like that in terms of,
Yeah, I mean...
There's a reason why sometimes women have more than one child because you have to remember there are statistical outliers and everything. But I think that there were logical reasons at the time why monogamy was a thing and why it's continued to be a thing and why it is encouraged over sexual promiscuity, I guess, would be the way to go
there is the thing, right?
Talking about it.
In the long history of humanity, the monogamous relationship was broken constantly. Japan had the night visit thing, right? Where a man would sneak around town, sneak into a woman's bedroom to have sex, and that was an accepted thing. Just a sneaky sex, which
sneaky surprise butt sex, yeah.
Yes, but that kind of supports the idea of yeah, one woman and men come from sex, and the men protect the woman a little bit.
I'm not sure. I would have to see more.
You know, this is just
evidence.
random.
I would have to say. Yeah, we're just two random fuckers on a live stream, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm just repeating something that I heard.
Yeah,
It's not, don't take
wouldn't
this.
Wouldn't the opposite, both male and female harems, be be a fooder with a harem of non-gendered robots?
Nah, it's alright. No, but yeah, and of course it's the whole thing of property. Women is our property thing.
Came
so
across Chris researching. Oh man, normalities and extra credits video.
that's a while ago.
Yeah, maybe Arian Paladin might have pointed at me in that direction. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's like everything, it's complicated.
Yeah, this is social things, right?
Humans, when it's social things, it's
humans are not bound to any biological whatevers. We're social beings. We can make up our own purposes in life, our own. Oh no, we don't like how our ears look. Let's pierce it. I don't like how my dick looks.
Have you seen the people that have been doing surgeries to get alpha ears, where they fold their ears in a certain way?
People modify their bodies all the time for social reasons. That is more human than anything. Oh no, I don't like how this body looks. I'm going to change it. That's one of the most human things to do, to go against your biology of your body.
So yeah, well, that's getting into some larger subjects. So have we got any more fun studies to laugh at, or shall we chat about?
Oh no, nothing can beat the National Association for Research and Therapy of Homosexuality. That's that's the best organization that I heard.
It is a tough sell. Yeah. Yeah, Matt. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Like I said, we don't have to cover the PAX video now, which makes me happy because I didn't want to cover that one in general.
Well, it is kind of long and it has a lot of assumptions, so it's kind of annoying to go through every assumption.
And it's like I said, like his assumptions are based on this foundation, right? So we've tackled the foundation, so I don't think we need to really worry about it.
Yeah. Sorry, Samu. I know you recommended it, but I hope us laughing at the source.
Well, hey, we did cover it. We did talk about it. I guess you kind of got what you wanted. There's plenty of anti-fan service, anti-porn videos out there. So it's not like it's there's any lack of us talking about.
Who fuck is Sam Newell? Oh, Sam Newell was the guy from the secretly Mormon anti-porn organization.
Secretly Mormon, yeah. Could laugh at a PAX Tube cyberpunk video, maybe. Yeah, maybe there could be something else PAX has done that we could add to the list.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this video with Putin's views. Oh no.
Uh-oh. I know one of the funny things I know about PAX is Twitter drama related, where he was going on about Gal Gura getting blacked or something, which is quite funny.
Who, Gal Gura?
Yeah, Gal Gura, the VTuber, the shark girl.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I know her only as Gura. I never heard the last name.
Yeah, it's Gal Gura. Yeah, she something about how he was like really interested in the idea of her getting blacked, so people were memeing on him about it because they were like, "Wait, you want to see her getting blacked? You want to see her getting blacked? What do you mean?" Because he was like, I have heard rumors about Gal Gura getting blacked. If this is true, please send me evidence. And everyone was like, wait, you want to see Gal Gura getting blacked? You want to see? Why do you want to see that, Bucko?
I hope he means the voice actor, the actor.
Yeah, he means in real life. Yeah, he's not talking about the avatar. He's talking about in real life. But it's still funny though. It's still funny. It was a fucking
quick now.
Yeah. No, guys. You see Gal Gura getting blacked is important to proving hentai is bad. Yeah. It's for the research. Oh god. God, that shit's weird though. The black shit and the race play shit. That shit's. I mean, it's it's some weird stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I generally find race play kind of cringe in the sense that
it really is. I fucking
big racism. I mean, on the other, of course, it's all fiction in that hand, so it's all fine.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna kink shame or whatever, but I'm just like that the fact that it's become so popular and you see it everywhere, and it's fucking. I have theories about it, but maybe we could save that for another cast, because it would probably be like another 2-hour discussion about Nretsew's fucking weird theories about why people have certain kinks and stuff, right? Because I find it interesting to read what people have to say about it. Because there's many different angles you can look at when it comes to that. Like, some people are in it for different reasons.
Yeah, but that's going back to the social thing, right? Because what was once associated with pure high morality is now complete degeneracy in the reverse, and so
race plays better than age play. Yeah, the age play stuff. I mean, Pipkin Pippa did that stream where they were watching a bunch of videos, and the chick that's in like the diapers and shit, and it's like, God, oh boy.
I don't know. I feel that age play is more sane in that kind of sense, because that's more has much more acting in it, right?
I don't know. I haven't looked enough into it to know. Just know that it's kind of weird.
It feels to me that in race play, you just going to be offensive, right? You play into stereotypes. You're going to be offensive, and it's exciting to be offensive and racist in that way. But age play to me is far more of an act, far more of a cosplay thing, right? Pretending you're a character.
I guess you could look at it from that perspective.
Yeah,
sounds logical to me. Yeah.
That's kind of my experience of age play versus race play. So yeah, Elena's opinion: age play better than race play. Celebrities don't have human rights.
We need to do like the fetish tier list or some shit.
would
Bring
get
up
them
the
views.
fetish.
Oh no, that would get 1,000 views.
Oh God.
Oh.
But it's complicated, but it's interesting though. It's why I'm interested in that kind of thing. Like, why are people into certain things? I think it's quite an interesting topic to get into, because you can get some pretty good access. F tier for feet. I saw an interesting TikTok video that was going around by some psychologist who was explaining one of the possible reasons for foot fetish being that there is the section of the brain that handles pleasure and sexual pleasure and stuff is actually really, really close to this part of the brain that handles the sensation of the feet, supposedly. So sometimes the wires could get crisscrossed in development, and that's apparently a possible reason why foot fetishes are so popular. I don't know the very hyper-specific scientific shit behind that, but it was a theory. It was a theory that was proposed by some random TikTok scientist. So take it with a grain of salt.
I mean,
but it sounds interesting. Though.
My non-science perspective tells me that I feel fetishes are usually more from a social thing, right?
I think it's more developmental. If you read a lot of the 4chans like I do, there are typically threads that'll be like, oh, how did you get your fetish? What gave you your fetish or whatever? And 9 times out of 10 it'll be like, I watched some media that made me feel weird, and then later on it developed into something, or I had some kind of experience when I was young that developed into something, right?
Yeah, but that's
9
kind of
times out of 10. So that's why I think it's a developmental thing rather than a you just randomly fucking get a fetish.
I feel that's more of a trauma in the sense of shock to your experience.
I guess you could describe. I guess you could describe it as like a trauma response, but I don't.
Of course,
It's
trauma.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You're not using the word trauma in like the traditional sense of trauma. Like I get what you mean. Like I guess you could describe it as a similar kind of thing, but normally it's not described as like that. It's usually like, oh yeah. Yeah, that hypothesis has been around for years. I don't know what the validity of it is. It's just one of the many. Like, again, there's not enough hard research done on this, and that's what makes it very annoying. Mind break is S tier.
Nretsew, I think you're kind of underestimating how many studies there are on sex and whatnot.
Yeah, well, there are, but it's like, again, a shitload of them are biased.
Yeah, because if I'm going back to that study of mine, right, on images, right, and there are like this many studies, sexual processing interferes with decision making. Ventral stratum activity when watching preferred pornographic picture is correlated with symptoms of implicit associated with cybersex addiction. The cybersex addiction, so a bunch of addiction. Watching pornography, images, the role of sexual arousal ratings,
Yeah.
dimension of. There's a bunch of this study of links in addiction, and it's of course a popular topic. But yeah, there are a bunch of studies that pictorial cues and sexual desire expendable. Shame of all these studies into porn addiction, but who cares?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like there are a lot of studies, but a lot of them are also just, bias in one way or another, right? So
Okay, but here's
what
another.
what I'm talking about is like I'd like to see more neutral looks into things that are not.
Yeah, but studies go off on hypothesis, so you can't.
Yeah, pretty much.
And of course, you can always read the discussion around it, or the discussion in the papers, or the abstract. Everything you want to know is in the abstract. So if you don't want to read the entire thing, just read the abstract. My advice to anybody watching ever: abstracts.
9 times out of 10, you can get the TLDR.
Which is the abstract is the academic TLDR.
Yeah,
it's there for a reason. Of course, but yeah, if you doubt Vincent, if you doubt the agenda or bias, you can just read the methodology and the discussions to see what you don't like or like from a study. I mean, I read some random studies from time to time, or papers, or articles, and sometimes and often I go, that sounds fair, that sounds reasonable. And then the article goes into a wild direction, and man, you lost. Man, you lost me. But you make some good points in the beginning. I'm going to remember those.
You had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then I'll go. And then, as a good academic does, you steal the first half and ignore the other half.
pretty much, yeah.
You take the bits that you like. That's the and work off that. That's how it goes.
Unless you're actually citing for something, in which case you're just reading the abstract. It can be misleading times. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, people just want to find shit that they want to, confirms their bias a lot of the time. So that tends to be how things.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go to one of those addiction studies, right? Blah blah blah. None of these are about addiction. Here, let me go over here. Blah blah blah. Watching pornography rating. Cues in a multitask situation.
Yep, confirms bias contributes to yeah. There's a big problem going on right now.
The person with this tendency are often either overused or neglect working. If you are addicted to cybersex or sexual pornography, then you are going to massively ignore the lesson.
He's doing big research mode. He's gone back. We've lost him again. I gotta
Yeah, I'll pull myself back. I'm back. I'm closing the tab. I'm closing the tab.
Yeah, close all of the tabs. We're done.
Just laugh at this one. Laugh at this association.
Yeah, laugh about the fucking the fetuses. Okay. Oh man.
Therapy of homosexuality. The site is broken for me, by the way. I'm not surprised though.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're at about 20 minutes to 3 hours, so I don't think there's much else to really go over unless you've got a fun topic.
Well, if we're going to, let's go back to the point before we got massively distracted, which is, were we playing, listening, or reading?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like I mentioned, yeah.
Nah,
Ellie's about to make a thesis. Yeah.
Every video should have a thesis.
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, outside of those fan service videos I mentioned on Twitter, I haven't really been keeping up with anything. When we're done here, I'm going to read the latest chapter of Looking Up to Magical Girls and Tokyo Neon Scandal, and that's going to be my afternoon before I get something to eat. I do. Yeah, I've been reading. What happens inside the dungeon, that Korean manhwa. That had a chapter that came out because he's been doing a side story, and God, I love that series. It's so good. They're having a whole thing about because there's this material in the world which is like if you're not pure. And so if you're not a virgin and you try and use the material either as a weapon or whatever, it creates like a nuclear explosion or whatever. Or like it creates a giant discharge of energy because you're impure. So they're currently doing an experiment with this guy who's a virgin to try and see where the limit is. What counts as a virgin? It turns out a blowjob is not counted as losing your virginity in the world.
Good to know.
But now they're doing penetrative sex, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. So that's a fun one. Unrelated question: if y'all have a manga not in English, well, I'm learning the Japanese slowly, but I'm an English only plebe right now, so I don't have anything.
So, To Love Ru is a very good one, actually. It has a lot of furigana, the kanas above the kanjis.
Yes.
It doesn't use many complicated things. I mean, Uchu, as in space, might be complicated. I also have a random volume of Hayate the Combat Butler. But yeah,
and I thought the manga I read. Look, man, I love a lot of really good stuff. Looking Up to Magical Girls is great. There was Dark Summoner, the one about the paladin and the demon chick being in a relationship. That's really good. Matos, the demon slave thing. That's really good. Oh yeah, I read Redo's latest chapter, which is fine. It's finally getting back to some fucking good shit. Because my God, has Redo been boring? God damn, so bad. Because Redo's really outstayed its welcome. They should have ended that ages ago. Honestly, I'm keeping up with it. Keeping up with it.
So, of course, Yotsuba To. Of course, Yotsuba is like 4 years old or whatever. So she only uses simple text. So also good one to use. Like if I throw in an image of Yostuba over here, image, legal, legal, don't worry.
Copyright. Well, I mean, if Matt Walsh copyright strikes us, that'll be funny.
Here, this is Furigana, home. Kokoa, Ipa, there's a lot of homes over here. Sodaro. Oh, Nia, Mise. There's a lot of stores. There's also a lot of stores, she says. No. So a lot of simple text going on here. So if you
Redo is so bad it might be good. Redo's problem is it has a really good start. The start's really good, and then the middle's okay, but the longer it drags on, it just starts to deteriorate. And the issue I have with it is because the whole thing about Redo is 1, sexual violence, and 2, revenge story, right? That's Redo, right? But as it goes on, it becomes more generic fantasy over time because the guy's running out of shit to do. he's literally running out of revenge things to do, right? And he's running out of targets because the most recent chapter he got rid of the king or whatever, which was great. Don't get me wrong, the payoff for that was pretty decent, but the problem is the in between to get there has just been generic fantasy bullshit without a lot of the sexual violence or the the stuff that you can. It's like, I came here to see the big violences and the big revenges and the big rapes, and I'm not getting what I paid for, right? Especially with the trickle of chapters, right? I'm not getting the thing that I want, right?
Yeah. So Vincent, are you saying that their Matt Walsh actually has opinions on anime and manga? Because we watched the video we watched was nothing, unfortunately.
Shad made a video. Shadaveraty, man. I wish he would shut the fuck up about AI. He really needs to stop. He's not doing. I
watched some video of him on. He was reading about Princess Peach wearing her biker outfit. It was very cringe. Oh no, Hollywood is killing masculinity and femininity and blah blah blah.
Yeah. It's like I was saying, like, people get lost in the source, man. It's so easy to get just completely fucking captured by that shit and end up fucking just going off the rails. It happens so much to so many people, I've noticed, where they start out fine and then something happens, right? Like, something happens that causes them to just go off the fucking deep end. And it's like, guys, come on. We got just why can't you just be fucking normal? Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it was a brief clip of a larger video where Shadaveraty guy said he pre-screens every bit of media that his children watch, and he doesn't allow them to watch any Disney things.
My god.
Yeah, very normally adjusted person.
Yeah.
Your children have to be a clone of you. They can't have their own opinions. They can't do something different. You have to be the commissar that checks all their media and everything they read and see. Yeah, does Redo avoid chucking itself from a cliff? Or
what was that? Chucking
comments, magician.
It's like I said, it just gets kind of generic. Like, I don't know how. I've been watching the Shield Hero anime, so that's the extent. I haven't watched the most recent stuff, obviously, but I know that Shield Hero does kind of drop off a cliff itself, but I don't know. With Shield Hero, it just feels like it's meandering along, and the guy's trying to come up with, like, he's got this whole thing about these, like, demon eldritch fucking tentacle monsters that are, like, secretly controlling everyone or something, and it's like some virus, and that's affecting the king or whatever, but the king's still a jackass, so he kills him anyway, right? And there's this whole thing about it, and I'm kind of like, yeah, this is just kind of bland, right? So I wouldn't say it's like a steep quality drop off. It's more like the authors ran out of ideas and he's keeping it going because it's popular and it's making him money. Right? Is what it feels like to me. Like it's a shame too, because you know, when it gets good and it has the content that the advertised content in it, the advertised content is well done and it's well drawn and it looks good. But it's a shame that I feel like he could have ended it a lot earlier than he has. The sound of canned booing surely would make anyone crazy. But when it's only you hearing them amongst the crowd, it's Jover. Yeah, pretty much. But other than Redo, though, yeah, everything else I've been reading's been pretty good. I don't have any real complaints.
Yeah,
the new Deadtube, the new Deadtube's been quite funny because that's been good. You'd like it because it's been talking about crypto.
No.
The Deadtube coin stuff and how they crashed the market and whatnot. It's quite good. It's quite funny.
Yeah. Speaking of Eminence in the Shadow, right?
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
you didn't watch the last episodes, right?
I haven't watched the latest. No.
But I'm still unchanged in my opinion that Sid's Shadow, his last name is really kind of Shadow also. So
Yeah.
Shit, nicknamed Shadow, is still kind of an ass. It is kind of
It's still kind of an ass. Yep.
I'm just getting annoyed that the gimmick is that he doesn't know that he's the boss of an organization, that while he wishes he wasn't the boss of an organization.
I don't know. I haven't caught up, so I'll have to.
No, it's still the same, right? So he still thinks he still has he wants to be the boss he wants to be the Imminence in the Shadow and role plays as one, but then he actually is, but he never really communicates that what he wants to be or that he's actually role playing because he assumes that the other people are role playing. Never really once looking when he but then of course when he fights people who say, "Haha, Shadow, I am for the cult. I am now going to fight you." He just ignores every bit of evidence that something is bigger going on than his roleplay fantasy. And then he says, "Oh no, how I wish I wasn't just doing a roleplay fantasy."
Right. Yeah, Deadtube's still going on, guys. We get new the chapters kind of get drip fed a little bit. So that's been coming out. The current arc's all been about taking down crypto, Deadtube, whatever. I will say that the arc where they were like in the fucking mansion doing the death game, that was kind of that one wasn't that great. But the more recent, the stuff with the crypto has been kind of interesting. So yeah, Deadtube is definitely still going on. So if you haven't caught up on it, you should probably check to see what chapters have come out because it's Red Room type stuff. Yeah, so they had like a whole arc before this one, which was like a bunch of the side characters were like they signed up to go into some kind of diff game thing where there's like it's like basically Among Us where there's like two traders or something, and you have to figure out who the traders are, and then they go through a whole arc about that. I think Deadtube is interesting because he does like to take real life happenings. Like I remember they had the whole VTuber arc. And now they're having a crypto arc, right? Where it's like the videos are like NFTs. So it's quite interesting. It's still the same over the top, gratuitous violence and sexual content stuff that you're used to with Deadtube, but it's like Deadtube keeps itself interesting because they tackle new themes and ideas each time, kind of in a sense. Like they kind of do something different. Like, oh, it's going to be talking about crypto, or it's going to be talking about something else, right? And I think that definitely helps it stay fresh. Whereas Redo is just kind of like following along with generic fantasy type stuff. So yeah.
Kaguya-sama was very topical.
Oh, yeah.
So there was the pandemic from a few years back, you might remember. And
I do remember, yeah.
it was kind of odd in a sense because the manga was kept being released new chapters in the pandemic. And while things like Apex were still mentioned and Apex was still popular, and some contemporary stuff, the pandemic wasn't. Until there was a chapter where they did a mass group call. I did a mass video call. And it wasn't because the school was in a pandemic or whatever, but it was, hey, look, this new technology, this new way of communicating. Let's do the entire class in a group call. We can do that. And that was in the chapter of the manga. So that was neat. Talking about contemporary stuff in manga. So yeah, the pandemic never made it into the manga, but the technology, the capabilities that was discovered during the pandemic were. But the author of Kaguya-sama also just generally likes putting random stuff from today, like Among Us. During a sleepover of a couple of a character, they said we're going to play Among Us.
Yeah.
In the manga. Hey, that's not.
Yeah.
You don't see that often. Just
No.
characters playing the hype game of the moment.
All right. Well, I guess we're pretty much out of stuff to talk about. It's been a fun cast. So yeah, so we're not doing a cast on the weekend because I'm going to be away. But next week we'll hopefully next week we'll probably do another one. We'll come up with something to watch and we'll meet up again and do another video. And hopefully I'll have watched some animes by then, so I can actually talk about some animes.
By the way, it's my plan. It's my intent to stream during in 2 days. Yeah, for you Americans, it's 2 days. During the regular time, starting time. But I'll be streaming, I think, Dungeon Keeper, because it's a fun childhood game of mine. And I'll have a small window into how the elections are going.
Yeah, you're gonna get some Dutch
elections,
electoral, big politics,
parliamentary,
Ellie gaming with a dash of Dutch politics going on. That's gonna be.
I'll have it muted or whatever. It's mainly for me, but
I'll
look at the big bars.
Side, yeah. The big number go up for big
whatever party. I'll spare you the minutia of small nation politics. Because Nretsew can also talk about small nation politics.
I could talk about New Zealand politics for fucking hours, yeah. But yeah, no. So that's kind of the plan. Is Ellie will probably do a solo stream while I'm gone, and then next week we'll be kind of hopefully back to normal somewhat.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of see how it goes. So anyway, it was a good chat. We will catch you all next time.
Remember to stop talking, Nretsew, for a second as I transition to the other.
Okay. Jeez.
Hey. Yes, you can talk.